It's time, baby.
Oh yeah. Watch that booty go.
Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
It's turbo time. Watch that booty go.
You hear me, right? Con men, thieves, degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals!
Watch that booty go. Watch that booty go.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
Yo, what's up, Grinders? I'll turn that thing off. We're not there at the table just yet. How are you doing? Oh, man, it's been a day. It's been a long day. Oh, man, oh, man. Shout out to you guys are incredible, man. I'm like seeing them like, you guys are all hyped up in the chat, ready to go, baby. We're ready to go. It pumped me up. I got to play my booty song with the booty drop. Let that booty go, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a wild day, man. It is a wild day. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It is Mr. Jez7780 Grinds My Gears, back with the gaming Grindhouse. We're going to start off a little bit of a bachelor show, of course. But we know the Grindhouse doors open and we got our guests coming in. So doors open for the Grindhouse guests, and they received their invitations and they will be here shortly. But we will move ahead with the Grindsboard and everything, and then they will jump on and we will get impressions. But you know I got a lot to talk about because we saw Halo campaign today. Oh, man. But before we get there, we have to shout out the VIP Grinders. We have been, the page is growing. The newest member, Dad of War. We got Eddie T. Shout out to Eddie T. What's up, David Howe? Nariko, No Cap Podcast, Brian M. Tex Mex Morardi, True Witty, 4-star General and Dad of War. And as usual, we got more people trying to get into this club. I'm telling you, dude. As we get more VIP grinders in here, we got more people in the back trying to slip in here and see what's going on in the VIP Grindhouse Lounge. And the newest person that just poked their head around the corner next to Bootleg Joel is Crag 2.0. There he is. You could tell because he has that extra pubic hair on his chin. It took a year to draw it on. You know, it's that finesse and booty quality that they added to him. He's trying to poke his head in here, saying, hey, guys, they gave me facial hair. Can I come in here? And I'm like, no, your bitch ass stays outside. So Crag 2.0, you stay out there with Booty, your Fridge, Booster, and Phil. So they're trying to peek in here, man. We got to hold them back. But we got Herman Triple H Holtz right here doing his splits. And thank you again to the VIP Grinders. And shout out to you guys. You could use the brand new emoji of Crag 2.0 BGs. Craig, we could call him. You can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a ladies' man. No time to talk. Yep, there he is. Took him a year. He became a man. Got the pubes on the face. And we'll talk about Crag 2.0 and all the work that they put in on him. What a sad, sad story that is, man. But shout out to the new VIP Grinders. And so, with that, let's get right. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get right to the grinds. But shout out to everybody. Jeff B. Gaming Glorious. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing? Sam Ash, Buck Rogers, Tex Max. Yo, VIP Grinder. How you doing, man? Dylan Rafferty, DDP. Star, man. Nikki. How you doing? Compost Smurf. There he is. Yes, I'm wearing my Halo onesie. Oh, shit. Says I'm wearing a friggin' Halo onesie and shit. Oh, shit. Sergeant, what's up, man? How you doing? Twisted Sync. We got some Bane Gamer Persona. How you doing? Do the optics. The optics today, not too hot. Not too hot. Not too good optics. We got facial hair, but not good optics. Yo, Uma Usha. How you doing? But shout out to everybody. We're going to go right to the Grindsboard. I put this stuff together. We got to go right to this thing. I got to talk. We got things to show right here. I've been holding it in all day. I tried to jump in. What's up, Twisted? How you doing? Just wait. There it is. The motto right there. How you doing, man? Oh, man. Jets fans. Why not Xbox? Oh, Jesus. I can't believe the Giants won. Holy crap. Nigel, how you doing? No, I got 2 beers. 2 beers.
What about those Astros?
Oh, shit. JAYdub, what's up, man? How you doing?
It's good, my brother. Sorry I'm running a little late, man.
No, man, you on Zaire's, dude, man. I was listening to that show, man. You were working that super work that. That shit was hilarious, man. Guys, definitely. Man. So Zaire, yeah, I know. I was listening to that show. It was getting me hyped up. Yeah, you know, it's like the pregame where you listen to the music before you get out there to the football field. Dude, but yeah, I was gonna go right to the topics. But anything going on with you, man? How you doing?
Everything good, man. Can't complain. I can't.
Feeling better?
I am a lot better, man.
Number one customer.
Meds and rest, you know, works wonders.
Damn, man. Yo, shout out to Socrates. Hit that like button. Quadruple A in the house. Yes. Oh shit!
JVB, what's good, brother? What's good?
Hey, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, how you doing? JVB in the house, baby.
Awesome, man.
Yo, hey,
Thank
I
you
just
for
want
the
to get.
invite, man.
Oh, no problem, man. This is an honor. Hold on, I gotta introduce you properly. Yeah, Optimus Lower Back Sweat. Oh my goodness, what a name is that? $2. He says, "Hello, friend." All right, so guys, I told you the Grindhouse is open, man. We got 2 awesome guests right now. We got JAYdub, the Mr. Regular. You know who he is. He's on the internet. And, dude, he gets everything and knows about everything. So, JAYdubs, thank you for coming on to the show. He's going to be dropping some facts and some knowledge here on his emotions and going on Halo. And we have JVB. So, let me tell you something about JVB. Right? This is an honor to have him here. Like, I can't believe I'm interacting with this guy because JVB, I listened to him back post-game report. This is the OG Xbox podcast. This is like when podcasts, there were like 2 of them. And it was like post-game report. I remember Game Attack Radio and Major Nelson. And I would listen to you guys all the time. Like when I was traveling all over the place with work. And I would just put your show on and listen to it all the time, man. Because you would talk about Halo, you would talk about Gears. And it was the good days, man. The early 360s, it was the 360 days. And this gentleman been podcasting for the longest time, man. And before it was even a thing, really. And broke the mold for a lot of creators that now everybody just gets on now. Even with Twitter Spaces, you don't even need anything. But man, JVB, I want to thank you so much for being on here. And your show was awesome. And I know you still do some of it. You even do it like on some old servers, right? You don't even do it on YouTube, right? Do you put it on YouTube? Your podcast?
JVB?
JVB.
I think he does.
I
know he puts it on the other.
Oh, the bots. Oh shit! Watch it.
They
got the
got
nest. They
you.
getting you.
Tell
them where they gonna find you, JVB. Because I used to listen on Stitcher and all that stuff.
Well, I have my podcast, the Post Game Report, still on Apple, but I got rid of the subscription I used to pay for hosting.
Okay.
And then I do have a Post Game Report YouTube channel where I just once in a blue moon I will put some gaming related stuff, or I'll experiment with like videos. Gaming related though. Yeah, so
dude,
I appreciate the awesome intro though, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. You don't understand, man. Dude, you don't even understand like how it's just. So you still have you still hang out with the crew that you had? You had like who was the Gears guy? Who's the Gears guy that was always on there? His name was like
Phoenix.
Phoenix, and there was another one.
Soldier was also
Soldier. Yes. He was big into Gears.
Yeah,
he was huge Gears. I remember.
Yes, yeah. I was the one that was the biggest into Halo. Everybody else was into Gears, and then I was the first one to buy a PS3 in the show because I was like, "Yo, we eventually got to start talking some PlayStation." And then he used to rag on me on that, and so yeah, I mean, even before PGR. I was doing Podtacular with Fumo Jive, and it was strictly Halo.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Dude, I remember
the community was so freaking huge, man.
It was.
They gave us stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because they you had you out there with Halo 2 and then Halo 3 dropped. Like you were getting that coverage and stuff. Yeah, that was huge. They did such a great job, man, with the community back then. And I know there are a lot of remnants here, but now this community is not what that used to be. You know, not even. And you could probably attest more to that because you had a lot more inside stuff than what the hell's going on now, man. And I know that you feel similar to how we feel. You know, coming from like this legacy Xbox stuff and seeing it, even in JAYdub, same way. You know, we grew up with this stuff, and to see it kind of devolve, and then see all these newcomers or these other people go, "No, it's great," and then it's like, dude, you don't know. And tell me it's better now. Like you're telling the us that it's better now, from what we came from. I'm like, you kidding me? It's devolving, and they just don't get it, and it just grinds me up, man. But thank you so much for being on the show. And
thank you, brother.
Yeah, I'll let you plug and put where you could follow you, everything in the add You just let me know. I'll add that for you there. And we're gonna go right to the topics because we definitely want to get to the Halo stuff, and I don't want to keep these guys too long talking about all the other stuff. But there's still important things that went down, man. Some crazy stuff we gotta talk about. So with that, here we go to the Grindsboard. There's the list of topics we'll be speaking about tonight. Let me get the video. Let's make sure I have the audio on it. There we go. Okay, we're good. Let's go. title that goes in there. Let's see. I got my. I got to move that title down. What the hell's going on with this title? I gotta fix it. All right. So the first topic. No, this is actually the wrong. Oh my goodness! Did I mess up? I put the wrong one.
Put the Grindsboard.
This is the Grindsboard from last week. No, we don't want the Grindsboard from last week. Faux pas. Here we go. I'm deleting this crap. Hold on. I'll put the real one in here. That's the lines. That's the last week Grindsboard. We need the new one. The new one. Here it is.
You shook.
Yeah, they did get me shook. All that friggin' chest hair and the facial hair on Craig. I mean, all crazy here. So the first topic, real quick, because I think actually some of these might overlap from last week's thing, but we got the PS5 overtakes the Switch with the MPDs. Like, I think we kind of, it's a pretty incredible, because I think it was like 33 months of winning for the Switch, and then the PS5 took over MPDs. I know some people are saying that the Switch, everybody's waiting for the OLED and things like that, but still, it's pretty impressive for a system that you cannot find to know that it's making those kind of sales to sell that. Any comments from you guys on that, with the MPD stuff? I know like it was a lot of store talk last week and there's a lot more, but I don't know if it was pretty impressive it did that.
With the MPDs?
Yeah. That took over the Switch, man. It was units and sales. That was a big thing.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, when you drop games consistently and you have great hardware and the hardware is cheap, and you have a great track record, there's a ton of content coming, that's why people are going to want to be. The next generation console with next generation features, next generation games, that's where people want to be. So no, it's not surprising.
Yeah, I know, it's very crazy.
You also have to,
JVB.
You also have to consider that for a while people have been clamoring for a PlayStation 5, and to give Nintendo credit for that piece of hardware to be selling and the competition for so long is incredible, but that's Nintendo. So that's a big feat for the still hard to find PlayStation 5. A huge feat.
It was crazy. Yeah, I can't even believe it. Like, it's been doing in units, which we like, not units, but sales, because it is a more expensive piece of hardware. There's two of them. There's $500 and a $400 one. The fact that it was outpaced it for that, I thought it was pretty incredible. But yeah, you're right. It's like, and I think also too they had that big drop. Remember that drop at Best Buy? It was almost like a launch. Everybody was finally launching it in stores. So that was a big thing too. I know people taking videos of outside of Best Buy. It was pretty damn crazy.
JAYdub bought like 5 of them. There.
JAYdub, did you do that? You bought another one? Did you line up at Best Buy?
I did. I just went, got my hand on one.
Damn, you got another one.
Yeah.
I know, man, that's crazy. That's all. And were there a lot of people in line waiting for it?
There were. But I mean, it wasn't like I didn't stand in line where it's way around the corner and I gotta wait hours and hours and stuff like that. It was more like I'll go in there, and if they have them, they have them. If they don't, they don't. And I went in, they had them. So, it'll make a good stocking stuff for this holiday. So.
Oh yeah, that's a big ass stocking though. You're gonna need like a friggin'
true.
You're gonna need like some big ass pants to put that thing in or something like that. There's no stocking that thing's fitting in. It is huge, Ed. It is monstrous. I do have to say.
Yeah.
So, and I know the next thing was Kenna, because a lot of people talking about the Kenna stuff, and we had some research here talking about why Kenna didn't chart on there, because I've been playing that, and it was the thing I talked about last week. Man, I'm on the third boss. I tell you, that game is magnificent for for what it is, and then you even think about it in the background. You're like, icing on the cake is like the cost of it, and the amazing of what they did with that game, with the animations, the story, the combat, like. It's one of those kind of like games where I didn't go in there knowing really what it was going to be, and the fact that it turned into what it is, it's freaking awesome. But one of the things, did you know that the Wyatt didn't chart? Did you see that Piscatella thing?
Yeah. The developer, the dude said that it's because there are no physical copies. It's a digital only game for right now. I think in December they're going to start printing out some. I think in December or early next year.
Is it November or that's coming out in November or December? I think November.
One of the dates. One of the dates. But it wasn't when it launched. They didn't have it, and so they didn't participate in the particular numbers or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, and actually, it was published by that studio, Ember Labs. So like basically they weren't supposedly that they're publishing. Everybody thought Sony published it. But Ember
No, it
Labs
was theirs.
self-published it, and they're not part of the digital tracking, so that could be
Yeah.
why it didn't show up. Maybe not in the top 10, but just in the digital thing completely of that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have the Piscatello's thing here where he said that, because I know a lot of people are trying to show that as to Psychonauts 2, and like why Psychonauts 2 didn't chart, and they're like, oh well, it was all digital, that's why. But it didn't chart on pretty much anything, and it wasn't the publisher thing or anything like that. It was just that it didn't sell on there. I didn't really. It's just a weird thing where people automatically just go like, oh, Kenna's not on there. See, just like Psychonauts 2. And it's like, well, Piscatella shot it down. I tell you, Sony just, it's hard. It's hard to get those W's, right? I think they're finding that out. It's hard to try to it's just tough. It's just the games, man. You got to.
I think the biggest part about Kena is just the fact it shows that Sony tends to partner with great developers, even if they're no name, right? Like Ember Labs, nobody is a brand new studio, first game out of the gate. Sony saw something in their talent, in their studio, that would reap rewards, and so therefore they partner with them to bring it exclusively to PlayStation for a time period or whatever. And Sony has done that over and over and over and over and over. That is a big difference than what the competition is doing over at Microsoft. They partner with teams like the Falconeer, the Medium, and other stuff that it ends up making the console and the company looks even worse. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I go with that logic, that I come to the conclusion that Microsoft just really don't know what good games are. They don't.
Yeah,
I think they just,
I don't know.
They just throw stuff out there and see what sticks.
To identify, like, who's the guy going around? I don't know if it's Shuhei or whatever it is, but who's the person going around going, "Hey, that game Fist, I want that over here," because that was another game that dropped that's really incredible. And then Kena, it's like,
well, Shuhei does the indies, and Herman Host does the other games. The big AAA.
So yeah, it is probably Shuhei that goes around. Like, I was just like, where? Because if you remember, and we could go back to put on a Xbox 360 hats. Remember the Xbox Live Arcade, and they had games like. What was it? Oh shit! What the hell was that game? Explosion Man and all those kind of even Braid and stuff like
Meat Boy, Super Meat Boy.
Like they were identifying games.
That was tough,
dude. Man, they identify the games, and it's just like seems like now, even with their indie stuff, like they either get like hand me downs from another platform or like timed exclusivity or something like that, but they're not getting those new games or that stuff that they could kind of associate with an Xbox platform. Like you get some of those indies that kind of do that, and they just seem to be dropping that ball in their identification, even their marketing as to games that they partner with. Kind of, it really doesn't like reap a lot of the benefits. It seems to be like a miss or something along those lines. Like the Assassin's Creeds they've been kept partnering with, and it's just like I don't know, man. They're you're right. The discovery for talent and the discovery of quality. And I think that's going to be the motif of this show is just quality and how it has just, I don't know, the way it's going. It just seems like they're preoccupied with something else and something's getting in the way with the output that they're doing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Sergeant brought up a good one. The Second Extinction. Oh my God. Remember that they had on Xbox with the dinosaurs.
A lot of really good indies, man.
Yeah.
But what I see with, the current trend of Sony getting into these deals with unknown developers is that getting about the reputation of Sony as well. It's just not, hey, I'm Sony, this game for my platform. It's also a mutual thing like, oh my God, PlayStation's reaching out to us. We know there's going to be an audience for that, and we know they're going to treat our game good. So that also plays into account as well, because I'm sure if Microsoft approaches these same companies, there has to be some doubt as to what direction those games are going to take.
That's right.
There's a really big, not just a coincidence. We're seeing a trend. Is
it's not one off.
Not to sound too fanboyish. Sony's the top dog for a reason. They have a lot of experience in their managerial positions. Shows every generation.
Yeah, they do, and they are definitely they have the eye of identifying this quality, and they always seem to say it in every single one of their things, like this quality, this. And again, there's going to be games that don't have it, but there's, like you said, it's not one-offs. It is definitely a consistent. There's a trend here, and I do think them being this platform that identifies a quality and has this install base. I know another thing people say is sales don't matter, and they do. It's mind share. It's an audience. It matters, and Microsoft's trying to finesse everybody, or finesse everybody, as we talk about it here, saying that, you know, he's trying to be like, oh, well, we got PCs and phones, so we got like 100 million people that we're touching right now. Nobody wants to be touched. They want to be touched with good games. Jeff B. Gamer with the $5, he goes, I can't wait to see what Deviation, Firewalk, Haven can do with that Sony backing. And that's a huge point. That's exactly like those things on other games that they're partnering. You're right, Jeff. Like, they're partnering with other games that they're going to identify that with the quality, having that backing, and they're going to drop out those games, man. Like the way Sony's going to drop them out. Like, you know, you feel that backing. Whereas, and I didn't put them on here, but I did a whole thing about the booty because we found booty, you know, and
the booty,
dude, man, that friggin' booty, man. We found the booty. Yo, is that Frogs? We got Frogs here from the Grinds line, dude. Oh, and I see B-Rap in here. Holy crap. Dude. We got Enrique.
I snuck in.
He snuck in the back door of the Grinds house. Oh, shit, pause.
Yeah, I snuck in. Yes. Yeah, pause, right?
Pause. He came in the back door.
As long as you didn't sneak in the glory hole.
Oh, shit. Frogs with the Grinds line. Pause. Oh, damn. They're going to hit the friggin' siren.
Yeah,
holy shit. Frogs is coming in with the glory holds. Holy Jesus. Dude, but yes.
No, man, I was just listening to the conversation, man.
Oh, no problem, man. Yo, thank you for coming on. This is the first time Grindhouse guest, even though he was invited to come through the front door, even though he came in through the back door. I know what? I'm not going to say you came in through the back door. You came in through the friggin' windows. You rappelled in, and you came in through the top floor of the windows, all right? You don't come in through the back door. We don't. That's all right. But yeah, B-Rap, yo, first time on the Grindhouse. Thank you so much for coming on. You check out his podcast and his B-Rap rants. I just call him B-Rap. I don't know if he likes that, but I just call him B-Rap. Yeah, check him out. But yeah, Rap, we are on the and Frogs away from his home. He is traveling, calling in from the Grinds line. My co-host,
I am
Frogs.
in Houston, Texas.
Oh, damn, he's telling everybody where he is. There he is. Frog's on the move. He's on the move. He had a PC a PC building thing.
Man said he in Houston, Texas too, huh?
Yeah, JAYdub's gonna come finding you.
Hey, I don't live here. I'm just helping my sister-in-law move into her house. She's in Pearland. So I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I'm in Katy.
Okay, yeah, I know what Katy is. Yeah. She just moved into her house, so we just helped her move in.
Okay, congrats.
Tex-Mex is flexing that new Crag 2.0 emoji that I have for the VIP Grinders. He says Frog has finally returned at the same time that Crag 2.0. What a coincidence! Oh shit! Frog smelled the Crag. But there's a topic that I wanted to talk about, and I don't think everybody's gonna be interested in this one, but I definitely want to bring it up because it is the Xbox staying out of VR. All right. Ooh. So there was some, Phil did his thing and he was like, oh, well, of high fidelity VR. He even did it with his good friend over at Bethesda, and they had the video and they rubbed each other's nipples and everything like that. And then basically he said with the X that the VR is just not ready. We want basically, a remote, a wireless VR. It's not ready, and blah. He backed out of it. He Phil Nessed his way out of this thing. Well, he doubled down now on his back out. So the article basically is that they are done with it. Like, remember, even they were trying to finesse, because that's all they do is just try to get their name in the conversation with like, oh, look, HP is making one and Asus is making a headset. So we're in VR. Remember Windows, and you could walk around and do your office work in a virtual like room and stuff like that. All that bullshit that they were touting, like, oh, they had Samsung making the VR headsets and all this other stuff. Like, we're in it, but we're just not really in it. HoloLens 2.0, we're in it.
That was too expensive.
Dude, it was too expensive. Nobody's building shit for this stuff. Like, anyway, they tried it. Now they're just like, they basically said, we applaud Sony for doing their shit. And basically, we are just not doing it. He goes, I applaud what Sony's doing. I applaud what Oculus is doing. And what Valve has done, but we are just not in it. And I thought that was it. I was pissed off back then when they stepped out of it, because I said,
it makes sense though.
I don't think they can even manage it because they can't make games.
Well, if think about it, they're in game, right? their end game is to make it where the console is, how shall I say, you don't need the console, right?
You don't need
want
to
to play
device,
in and
yeah.
everywhere. Yeah. So why would they want to be locked down with more hardware when they're telling you, hey, we don't really care about the hardware, right? xCloud xCloud and these apps are in game. So it makes perfect sense. Plus, if they struggle with just getting regular game content out there, they don't have time to dick with fucking VR games. They don't.
That's the god honest truth right there. Like, they don't have time to dig around with any of that stuff. They got to get their game quality up before they start venturing off into being immersed in stuff, because they can't even immerse you on a 2D screen. Imagine them in a 3D environment. That shit look. I'm not even immersed looking at some like horrible textures and just horrible animations and stuff like that. And it's like, think about that stuff in 3D. It's really like, I don't want to see Crag in 3D, man. That shit spooks me out just on the screen itself in a flat plane. Dude, no, I don't want to see that shit.
I guess the question is, though, how hard is it to take an HTC Vive or whatever paraphernalia is out there right now to pair it with an Xbox? Yeah. How hard is it to do that? I just don't understand that.
I'll tell you how hard, right? Mm-hmm. For one, you need the right software. You need the certain number of USB ports, because it requires, I think, 2, 3, depending on the headset that you got, 2, 3 USB ports. With the X Series X, I think it's doable. Anything under that,
it's powerful enough to do it. Yeah.
I was just about to say that with the X only.
Yeah, but it requires. I don't know. I think that's all it requires. But
for what, like hardware wise for it?
Yeah. But dealing with Microsoft and their operating system, which is very heavy, right? It's very
super
hard. Yeah. It's just I see that shit being laggy. But listen, there's a reason Microsoft only had a 1080p dashboard, right? And rumors is because the split memory architecture, right? It's really heavy. It's just too many bottlenecks that they have in their system for the design. Rumor has it, I was told, right, they designed the Xbox Series X. That's for that specific reason. It's because they're going to the cloud, and at the end of the day, streaming is their end game. So they did what they needed to do for whatever reason they needed to do it, because the architecture was easy to move to the cloud, where they could just take the units, stick them in, the blade servers or whatever, and keep it moving. So again, I don't see them restructuring anything or changing for that. The fan base didn't support the regular game, so they damn sure not going to support.
So what I basically hear you're saying is that basically the Xbox Series X and S are just a reboot of the Xbox One.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've said that shit from the beginning. They're remastered.
Why you think they have the same controller? They just have the same games. They have everything, right? There is literally nothing outside of one single share button that they stuck on the controller. That's the difference between last gen and current gen.
Yep,
that's just kind of what it is. So,
do any of you guys rap? Do you use the VR at all? Do you try it?
I have VR. I have all versions of VR.
You got all of them. Yeah.
PSVR, Oculus, the CV1, the Oculus Rift S. I got the
Jay and Buster's.
HTC Vive. I got everything. Yeah, I got everything.
But you only got one head. We got all those VRs.
Well, because I race in VR on my PC.
Yes.
I do virtual racing.
Yes, he has the cockpit seat. Like, he has a seat. I have the seat. Yeah.
So
that's how we became friends on Twitter. I sent him a picture. Absolutely. I was like, look, Jay, look what I got. He goes, follow you. I'm like, there we go. Like, I was like,
exactly.
I can tell you the game we play the most on our VR at home is Beat Saber. That game,
my wife is addicted to that game.
Absolutely. Beat Saber is the definitive game for you to play VR.
Yeah, they just added Billie Eilish to it too.
Yes. I'm buying that when I get home.
well, and my daughter loves what's that the group
Coldplay, not Coldplay.
It's the Korean group. She loves BTS and Blackpink, right? So she loved them, and then they added it. So she was like, she was all ecstatic and stuff.
Dude, yeah. Have any of you other guys use it? Like Rap, have you used it, or JVB, have you used the VR?
I had it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, okay. So you got the wireless thing.
Yeah, actually, it works pretty. I mean, for VR, for untethered.
Yeah.
VR works pretty well. Like Like Vader Immortal was one of the first games I played.
yeah.
yeah.
I wonder
That was
how.
actually
I've always
pretty
wondered
good.
how that one worked, like how
Yeah.
good it was quality wise.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's like when you meet Darth Vader in person, and he's like
Nice.
to scale almost, right? Because he's tall.
Yeah, he's tall, yeah.
Yeah, like, and so he approaches you, and he's an imposing figure. Like
Nice.
yeah, and I'm just like geeking out when I see that, and like you're in a spaceship, and like you're walking around the spaceship, and like it's just this robot's talking to you. It's wild. It really is. Like it's really cool. But yeah, I played Beat Saber. Beat Saber's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else have I played?
Have you
Can't remember
beat
what else I
any
played.
games in VR? Like I know my son, he beat Resident Evil. What is that
Seven,
game called?
seven.
Is it
Seven,
Village?
I beat the
Seven?
inpatient. I did the
Right.
inpatient. That one I did.
He beat 7. Yeah, he beat 7 in VR.
7 in VR, yeah.
Yeah, he said that was it was an overwhelming experience, but he played it all the way through, beat it in VR, and I guess his experience was good, but he said, there were some shortcomings. But I wonder, did you beat the games in VR? Because most of the games I play, I don't beat. I just play for enjoyment.
Yeah. Well, you can is a it's kind of really up to you. Resident Evil 7 was too scary.
Yeah.
For me to continue, man.
I did Paranormal Activity. Did you do that one? That's scary. Shit.
I'm gonna be honest. The
I'm not
scary
doing that,
games,
no.
I kind of
you
dude.
need-
I start sweating. And
Yeah,
I get
you need to
jumpy.
be in a specific state of mind to do that to yourself. Like that's the thing. Like I gotta be like, you know what the hell? Let's do it. I'm gonna go in there. And you know what else I tried to do? I streamed it, and that was another incredible thing about the PS4 that you could easily just stream your experience to YouTube. Like you could see, people could.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. You just hit go and no cameras and stuff, and you could just go boom and just set this up and go. And I did that to kind of like have pop-ups so people could like chat while I'm playing to like break the immersion of it, because I did not want to be fully immersed. But dude, it is the simplest things, and that's the thing. Like with VR, you could just have a sound, and that's where I experienced that 3D audio sound from, because you would hear it, and that's what it replicates from that audio box. And you would hear this thing, and you would just hear doors, and you'd be like, wait, that door wasn't open before. And then you physically open up the door with the controller, and something just drops, and you scream. You just scream and jump, and like the screen goes crazy, and you're just like, it was nothing. But man, I'm telling you, it is some crazy stuff doing that stuff in there. And I did the Paranormal Activity, which was scary as hell. But I did a Beat Sabers, like Fruit Ninja. But yeah, it's an experience. Like I do like the audio games like that you play with like the Beat Saber and stuff. But man, you get into it. And I had the Vive, and then I moved to the PSVR. Even though the vibe was like better, I just felt like it was more of
You're my number one
you
customer.
were doing this like you were doing more of kind of testing games, like everybody's still exploring like experiences and stuff. Where I felt the PSVR, they actually were making like it was games, like they were making games like what is it, the Blood and Truth? Yo, that is incredible. For the technology that they had, they did a pretty good VR. And the fact is that next year, and this is the thing that nobody's bringing up, next year they're going to release VR 2. And that is going to be a whole nother ecosystem and games and stuff for this new technology. And you already feel the immersion in the sound right now in the DualSense and with the 3D audio. Now they're going to do this with one cable going to the front. That's probably why there's a USB-C in the front of the PS5. It's just to do this one cable right into the front. And I hope it has the inside-out tracking where it scans the room. And then basically you're good to go. And I can't imagine with the new view, because the biggest problem I had with the PSVR was the no analog thumbsticks. And as these games got more complicated, it was harder to navigate with those move controls. They were so antiquated. They didn't have those analog sticks on them. But this is a whole new thing that's coming out. In addition to all the games that we've been listing for what's coming out with Sony, and the fact that they're going to have this coming out next year, and I think that's probably going to be their holiday thing, just like they did with the PS4 Pro. But again, we come back to Xbox, little Xbox, big $1 trillion company, backing out like a little bitch. Just being like, we're not going to do that right now. And it's just like, you know what? You guys are like, because this is where they just want, and the fact is they didn't just decline this from the beginning. They basically were trying to say, we're in it. Oh, C-Tune, high fidelity VR, we're in it. Well, we're not in it. Oh, we're semi in it with the PC. We got Samsung, HP, they're making them. We're in it. We got HoloLens. Here's the Minecraft. They did this on stage to show that Minecraft bullshit where they're playing with the table and all that other stuff and HoloLens, and they said that it looks like you're looking through a little friggin' peephole or glory hole, as Frog will call it. That's all you see through the HoloLens is that little hole. Meanwhile, they showed this special ass camera that's like showing this stuff. JVB, what did you say? Well, JVB, did you?
Glory hole thing.
What was it?
No, I was at the glory hole.
Oh, well, they said the problem with the HoloLens was that it was only like a very small piece, and I got to try it at not the glory hole, but I got to try the friggin' HoloLens at PAX. I finally got my hands on one, and yeah, it is like just a little headband of a Vision, and you're only seeing a little bit, but you got your whole periphery. But it's just a very small augmented look. And it wasn't very immersive because it wasn't really supposed to be because it was like augmented. It's supposed to be within your life, but like, you know, within your daily tasks, you look around, but it was very small that it really wasn't effective. And that's where they put my poor Conker. They didn't even know what to do with Conker. They put his ass in HoloLens. They're disgraceful. They pissed me off. You know what? Back your ass out. You got a booty, so you can back out real effectively because you got a booty. Back out, booty first. And you know what? We don't want your trash version of Xbox VR. So maybe it's smarter that what they're doing. They got a lot of shit to worry about, and they're preoccupied with other things, and it's hurting the quality of their games. So who knows? We don't want them to trash VR and give it a bad name. But the problem I have is that they dismiss themselves from it. Bless you. They dismiss themselves from this thing. So now the fact is that, like you said, you have a VR of you have the the Oculus kind of made its name now with the and it kind of everybody was buying them for $400, like the Oculus one. The PSVR one now is the gaming one, and now they're gonna do a new one. It got its niche, and Microsoft doesn't even have a dev to support it, and that's the thing. Sony has first party devs. They have other partnerships. They got that too. Like, how can this company that supposedly has so much less money than Microsoft be funding all this stuff and have all this content coming to its platform? And I just think one cares about games, the other one cares about services and bullshit and cloud and what Office wants. Like Frog always says, there's too much Microsoft and Xbox, and that's what's killing it. But anyway, there's my VR rant about that stuff. Anybody else on the VR? Or we'll move on to more stuff. Oh, wait, I got the Atrocity Nights. He says, Oculus just released Resident Evil 4 and Unplugged, an air guitar hero. Oh, damn.
Yeah. They got a 90 some Metacritic, a 9 out of 10 rating, man.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that. Atrocity. Oh. Air guitar hero, man. Oh, man, those rhythm games. I do like them. I do. They had a good little party atmosphere, and yeah, they work good in VR. Man, that was. I know what else I did. Oh my god, another VR story. So there was a game that was oh shit, I don't know what the hell the name it was, but it was made by it wasn't made by Devolve. It was made by Tiny Build, and it was this karaoke hype game where basically you get on stage and you sing and stuff, and like you gotta like hype up the crowd, and if the crowd doesn't like you, like they'll start throwing shit, and you gotta like dodge it. And then you got to like hype them up. And it's just like this. You just shout at the crowd. Like you just say things. You don't have to sing. You just be like, come on, everybody, get up. And it's just like, dude, it's just so empowering because you have this mask on. All these people screaming in your ear and they're all reacting and they could be throwing things at you. It was pretty funny, man. But it's just.
Game?
Again, you know what it was? I forgot.
I don't remember. I was gonna say that the game that got me was the Batman game.
Oh, that was good. The Batman.
Oh
game?
yeah,
dude, that was good.
That was good.
I don't want to spoil the ending.
Quickly, I would have enjoyed having the ability to use PSVR in home. That would have been freaking awesome.
Oh, in the PS Home.
Yeah,
man. Oh man, yeah. I tell you, they could do so like. I'm just excited what they're going to do with the PS5, with the power that they have now, because what they did with the Pro was impressive. And now with the PS5, like, I just can't imagine. And just seeing, that they're building, these are the starting, people want to talk about what Halo is as a building block. Like, you look at what the DualSense is and you look at what the 3D audio is, those are building blocks for their VR. And the fact that stuff's going to be integrated, is gonna be friggin'
They're
awesome.
coming out with new handsets, right? They're gonna come out with
Yeah.
new controllers
Yeah,
for VR.
yeah,
So I
yep.
could imagine
Uh-huh.
like the haptic feedback on that and all that shit. That's gonna be
Yep,
crazy.
they got that too. Yeah, so they're ready to go. Well, the next topic we got here is the that Horizon video that dropped today about that hook shot. Did everybody see that little hook shot? A very effective
Yep.
video, only like 3 minutes long, but yeah, I'm gonna show it here. But give anybody any impressions on that? What you can do with that? Yeah, you could.
It just
We'll do
looks
B
really
rap. Where's
smooth,
rap?
man.
Get rap in here. What rap? Well, did you see that video?
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't hear you, man. My son just walked in. He was
Oh
talking.
damn! Oh damn! All right. Well,
Sorry, go ahead, man.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you see the video of the Horizon that the hook shot thing that you can do with the new mobility?
No,
I'll
you know what,
show
man? I only saw a couple seconds of the video. I haven't got a chance to check it out, the entire thing. So I didn't see that. I saw some of the like animation, the movement.
That was it. That was.
that
I
look?
think that was all it. Was I missing something? Like,
But-
that was it.
Yeah, no,
It wasn't
that
even that
was.
long.
It wasn't even a video,
Yeah.
man. It was like 3 minutes. Just
Hey,
showing
I'm
how-
gonna be honest. Even the developer themselves, they tweeted out. No, let me find it, and I'll
I'm
give
gonna
it
show
to
the
you
video,
the exact wording of what the developer said about it. But basically, he said we sneakily published some new gameplay from Forza. From Horizon Forbidden West in this GIF, and he started laughing. Basically, he posted at the same time that Halo, the Xbox had posted the Halo
Halo
stuff,
thing.
and so basically they were laughing like they did this on
Yep.
purpose.
They're calculated. They always
Yeah,
do this.
yeah, and then he tweeted out, "We
Right,
sneakily
release the
LOL
fucking-
publish it." Exactly.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know. But I will say this though: the one thing that I noticed was just how fluid the character animation is in this clip. That's like the thing that really stuck out to me. And this game looks, I mean, just really, really good.
It really
You know,
does,
to
man.
make like it's impressive that this is also a game that's going to be on last gen hardware
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
You know, and I think it speaks to Sony's the talent the talent that some of their studios have. I mean, you know, like this game, I mean, it just looks, I mean, even for the PlayStation 5 version that they showed, and it being multiplat, or not multiplat, but cross generation, this game is one of the better looking games that I've seen so far. Even being cross gen, like you don't necessarily, I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that maybe this game is held back in some sense, right?
They fooled Digital Foundry on it. Like Digital Foundry's like, this is what
Yeah.
next gen looks like, and meanwhile they said it's cross gen. But yeah,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
remember
So
that.
it's just, yeah, it's impressive. It looks good. I'm really excited for this game. I was I'm glad that Guerrilla ditched Killzone and created this game.
yeah. And they took
not
the
that
feedback,
Killzone was
dude.
terrible, but it wasn't great. But
Yeah. But they took the
Killzone
feedback
2 was
of-
pretty good, but
yeah,
yeah.
Killzone 2 was
It was
good.
awesome.
But yeah,
I
like
kinda-
look at this.
I
Yeah,
was-
Frog.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say I kind of thought that Killzone always should have been a third-person cover shooter, not a first-person shooter. I've always felt like that. I don't know, when I got vibes from Killzone, I always kind of felt like Killzone was more Gears of War-ish than a Halo game. It felt more Gears of War. That world felt like Gears of War. I don't know. That was just me though.
Well, I always felt like, again, the story wise, it was always forgettable. You never latched on to a character, and so they really had to get the writing down. So what they
Yes.
did with Horizon, they actually went out, licensed some writers, some actual movie and story writers, right? So they basically fixed all the stuff that was wrong with Killzone, where they were lacking the story writers, the great narrative and stuff like that. So they went out and fixed that stuff. Killzone has always looked great graphically and stuff like that.
Yes.
So they filled in those holes, and so they came out with Horizon Zero Dawn that knocked it out the park. And we're getting Horizon Forbidden West. Now, what I want them to do after this, right? I do want them to go back and tackle, now that they got all the holes fixed up, and they have a team that has great writers, they have great, animations and all kind of stuff. Now I want them to go and try to tackle that Killzone
There you go.
and make it what it could have been, right? Because back then they didn't have the Decima engine, they didn't have all the key pieces. Now they have that. They should be able to knock out any kind of game that they want to, right? Kind of like Insomniac. They're so good, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you throw at them.
They're like,
they're
give
gonna
us
knock it out.
Wolverine now, dude. Like, yeah, you thought Spider-Man.
Exactly.
It's like, give us Wolverine. We're good.
I,
Exactly.
I totally agree with JAYdub saying. Like, I feel like they could go back and reboot that series and really make it something special. Because I
Yeah.
thought it was a series that really had potential, but I think it like he said, with the technology and everything that was going on, I think that they could have been limited. But I also think it came down to story writing. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with
Yeah.
you.
You know
So
what's
I would
interesting
like
is
to see them
like
do something.
how I'm watching the video, this loop, and it's just like the animations, like it's surprising because she was really kind of robotic and stiff in the first one. And the fact that they really just took it to the next level, and the fact that she is almost like doing these kind of like real slick moves, like you'll see like a Ghost of Tsushima or something like that, like this kind of swinging, jumping, spinning around and shooting and stuff like that. And it's just, and then she has that paraglide thing. Like it really opens up her abilities and you know, just to kind of highlight kind of combos and stuff. And it seems too, the other thing, I don't know if you other guys agree, but like it seems that it's definitely more effective combat. Like she seems to be more able to take on two of these things, because in the first game, like you saw two of these things, you would run. Like you would not like to be able to kind of like take them out. Like you would have to like wait and kind of prod and hide and dodge and
set traps and everything.
Yeah, like set the traps up. Meanwhile, she's just going hand to hand with these things with her ability to kind of spin around and jump and get out of there. So like
the other thing too, Jess,
how the sand goes up when she slides.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I tell you what, JV, you mentioned the sand. Like that's the attention to detail that I love about many of Sony's first party games. There's a high level of attention to detail that sometimes you may not see things right away. Like I've gone back and played games and have seen like even like certain character animation, like facial animation responses to like dialogue, and while it seems trivial, like to think for anyone to include that level of detail, it really like it's pretty impressive. Like they're really like I don't know, I guess sticklers for that attention to detail. And while you may not recognize it if you go back and play games like The Last of Us Part 2, you'll notice things you may have noticed before. But like Jay, you said, see how that sand kicks up, like that's just attention to detail.
You know what's funny, Rap? Like I went back to today. I went back to Last of Us 2 after watching that Halo thing. Like I'm like, let me see this detail. Like, cause I went back to Last of Us 2 just to walk around and just to kind of like experience that. Just like what you were saying, like this detail going, like maybe we're being too particular. Maybe I'm like thinking maybe, you know, a little hard on Halo because I love Halo so much. And I'm like, no, man, no, there's a certain level of expectation. And this is not just one game that's doing this. This is their lineup that's doing this. I even jumped in back and I went into Ghost to walk around and in the snow and see the differences in the detail. And it's all about immersion. And I guess I'm at the point of my gaming career that I want to be immersed into these games, because like right now my gaming is so, you know, I don't have time to just grind and stuff like that and wait for a level thing to go up. Like I want to be involved in a story. I need to have some mental commitment to a game. And those kind of things, these little things, the expression on faces, the acting, the environment, the things that you're doing, the leveling up, the progression, those are the hooks that keep me involved in the game and not drop it. And it seems like Sony just knows the bullet points in their games and what they're even the games that they're partnering with in some of those games. Like they just kind of know about games and entertainment, where the other side just seems to be focused on a broader picture and trying to pull people in that really don't know how gaming is, and they're making their games that, you know, for that kind of audience.
The other thing I was going to say too, Jez, is like the how fluid the animation is.
Oh my god, yeah. Even when you break it down,
reminds me of like I wonder, like, because you always hear stories about one thing that Sony's first party studios they're really good at is collaboration, right?
Yes,
they'll work with each other, help each other out in certain things. And I wonder if Insomniac and Guerrilla teamed up, because her movement reminds me of how fluid Spider-Man's movements are.
Yes. Yeah. The
Spider-Man games.
Very like that. Yeah. I'm looking at it.
I mean, it's not fluid. It's the consecutive moves that she's doing that are so fluid. That reminds me of Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
But the other thing, to your point, Jez, I mean, you know, with Sony, and a lot of people I think forget this. I mean, not only are they a hardware company, technology company, building, you know, or hardware company, I should say. They're also an entertainment company. You know, they're in music, they're in movies, so they understand that entertainment medium. And they've been doing this for 25 years now. you know, in interactive entertainment. So I think that's why when they present, like we always talk about, like how Sony just is really good at presenting presentation with their video games. I think that a lot of that probably stems back to them just having that entertainment arm and being in movies and music.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the occurs, and we'll get to it about the Halo stuff, as being how it's being shown. Like, it just seems very kind of incompetent and broken. And meanwhile, Sony just seemed very coordinated. Because remember, they dropped their this Horizon video that I'm showing now. They dropped that thing right before E3, and it shook the world. Like, people were like, oh my god, like, you know. And that's what gameplay does. That's what they let the games do the talking, as Jim Ness says all the time. It's like, when you do that, it answers a lot of questions and removes a lot of questions about that stuff. Yeah, JVB, what are you gonna say?
In regards to video games as they are now, like, I'm 49, and I know a lot of us here are
we're there.
grown
I'm
up
40s
in the 80s and everything like that.
Yep.
So how many games did we see where, you know, it was a freaking skin of a face plastered on a square and the hands never moved, and we were like, oh my god, these visuals are insane, you know? So to see the type of facial animations where you see Ellie in The Last of Us 2 loading up a gun and looking through the scope. And this is all during gameplay, not during cutscenes. And you see like her bag moving. I mean, you see all these little details that you can appreciate because we've seen the progression. And now we've seen how far it has come. So it's like, all right, this part of the next step of and there goes my brain injury kicking in where I forgot what I was going to say. But
the progression of the games, from like the sequels to the evolving of games, the immersion,
yeah, the immersion part has been gradually growing to where it's like, okay, now that immersion seems to be getting to where movie animation type quality is already here. What's the next step? You know,
exactly.
So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, and that's what you expect out of sequels and second games and stuff like that. You expect bigger and better, not regression and we're starting anew. Even I would say even God of War, where that was definitely a reboot, it still was like new and amazing. Like, it didn't feel like they went back to God of War 1 and said, we're going back to God of War 1 and we're stripping down all these abilities and you have to earn them again, and we're just gonna reboot it that way. No, they rebooted it, but it felt new, and they actually it was better for the franchise because it gave it new life rather than just running around and ripping heads off. You know?
You remember where you were when you first saw the reveal of God of War?
Oh yeah, I
was at a theater in New York City.
Oh, you got to watch it when they were doing this.
Persona and I were in there.
Yo, Persona,
we saw that.
Boy.
Yo, when we saw that, we were going. The whole theater went insane. Insane. I mean, it was like watching Return of the Jedi when I was a kid.
Oh my god.
It was insane how loud that theater got.
Wow.
So yeah, because it was, as you stated, they took a whole new direction, and it was like, oh my god, this thing looks incredible.
Yeah,
and it was a risk, and you saw it, and it paid off.
Yep, exactly, and it's incredible. And to think that they're making the next one, and then he's working on something else, like his other game, which it's incredible that they're able to do that. Like,
it's interesting about that reveal, like that JVB's talking about. Like, I remember where I was. I was watching it with the Brap guys, and like I remember just being like like when you hear the voice, right? And then I think he turns around, right? And you see Kratos, and it's like, oh my god. And it was like Kratos like we've never seen before. Like it's just a different light. Like there just seemed, I don't know how to describe it, but I guess it goes back to what JVB was saying about the level of immersion that we get with or the detail, the high they
know how to do
it. Detail with the facial animations. Yeah, it's just
they just know.
Like, yeah, I remember that, and just that reaction that people had. I'll never forget. That's the one thing too that stands out. Like, I know JB mentioned that being at the theater in New York, but I mean, I remember watching videos of people who were at that E3, and they were like, and them just like the screaming and the excitement, like that's just we don't get you don't see that a lot with many reveals. It's really special.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been doing it as long
Xbox,
as us. It's just
Yeah, it was something that Xbox has really been, they're trying to do. Like, but I can't imagine seeing anything we saw today or last year's Halo reveal in a theater. I'll be throwing my goddamn popcorn at the screen. Holy Jesus.
Jesus.
Imagine having that in the theater, man. You have goddamn
Jez,
Pee Wee Herman up on stage. Oh, shit,
Jez.
Pause. Fucking Pee Wee Herman.
You were brutal, man. You were brutal, Jez.
Seriously, I'm just thinking you guys talking about this thing and watching it in the theater. Do you imagine if they showed what they showed last year, or even today, in a theater? You went in there in a theater with a bunch of people and watched that.
Yeah. There'll be some claps, but
it'd be like
out of respect. Yeah. All right. What's next?
fill my popcorn. Oh damn. But anyway, yeah. So speaking about that, we're gonna go to the next topic, the fire round here. Let's go to the where the hell's my thing? Here it is. So we're gonna do I know you guys have been talking about this thing, and we'll I think we're gonna skip over the Twitch one. I just wanted to put in there as news on number 6, where they just now finally added that you could stream to Twitch from the guide on the Xbox. That was something they just added today. And because you had to go through the Twitch app because everything was still in so now you could stream from the guide. You could start it from the guide, which it's something that
it's actually just like a great feature to do that.
They should, well, especially
I'm glad they did that because you used to, you're right, you used to have
to
to go to the app. They need to, because on PlayStation it's so seamless.
They got both of them, and you still can't stream to YouTube on Xbox. Like that's definitely a Google thing, and they will never resolve that. Like that was one of the good things I liked. But I had when I got the PlayStation, I was able to put stuff on a channel, whereas and keep it, archive it. Where on Twitch, it deletes it after a while, especially if you're not even a follow. Like you don't have a thing, like it deletes it after a while. So any kind of highlights and stuff, it would delete. Whereas YouTube, you could just start building up highlights. So that's why I did like streaming from the PlayStation. But yeah, they still can't do YouTube. But again, they're just moving at a snail's pace with evolving that dashboard. If one of the things is that I don't understand, considering how much tech and how much hype they had for this machine going last year and stuff. The fact that they have just been very slow to evolve that dashboard. You would think that they maybe just didn't have stuff ready at launch like everything else, but start like having a big rollout. Like they just added a 4K dash, and a lot of these things were kind of poo-pooed on when people complained about it when the Xbox Series X launched. Oh, 4K dashboard, who needs that? Streaming, who needs that? The share button, it is what it is. And it's like Xbox used to be really good with updates, like a spring update, a fall update. Like they would have like big features that people wanted and involve Xbox Live and they are just, I don't know, they got their 2 thumbs in their ass, so in their booty hole. I don't know what they are doing. Like, they just seem so disconnected, but then they don't shut the hell up whenever they can talk about stuff. I just don't understand where their priorities are, because it just seems that, I know they added cloud gaming to the dashboard. Cloud gaming. That was the reason why PS Now was trash, right? Because you could stream. Now all of a sudden it's the thing to celebrate. I don't get it. But I just don't know. They're moving like a snail's pace with that dashboard, man. They used to have feature sets and evolving. They got that stupid share button. It's like an appendix because they don't use it.
It's clear you're not happy. It's very clear to me you're not happy with Xbox right now.
Bullshit. I'm not happy with them. They have devolved. That's what grinds my gears. That's why I started this up, because they have devolved with all the shit that they're doing. They're disconnected. And that is the thing that grinds my gears a lot, is that they're so disconnected with what the gamer wants, because they're so obsessed with what they want that's affecting what we want. And that's the problem I have with them. They're so worried about 2 billion gamers and clouds and thumb drives and all this other shit. It's hurting our games, and it's hurting what Xbox used to be. And a lot of people seem to be, I'm fine with it. It's good. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah, well, you see what fine gets you. Get your Crag 2.0. A friggin' goddamn beard. That's what his ass got. So now we're gonna go to
Punk Rock Craig.
Oh my, that's disgraceful. I can't believe the Halo 3 friggin' Craigs look like the Halo 3 the brutes look Halo 2 brutes. Like, my goodness, these guys look like you want to make doll. They probably did them for merchandising. You know, I already see the figures. It's like, oh, the kids will be afraid if we make them look like the Halo 2 ones. We'll sell like teddy bears and stuff like that of Craigs. Won't be surprised. They sell the fridge. Goddamn, they'll sell teddy bear Craig. Anyway.
I could see that happening, man.
Of course, why wouldn't it, right? So speaking about reason why it's devolving, Xbox Game Pass misses the numbers, all right? So that was last week's thing about these numbers. They went for 48%, and they didn't hit the 48%. They went to 37%. The year before, they hit 86% with that increase of, with the COVID situation. So they kind of went over with their anticipation. But this year, they only went to 37%. So everybody was questioning what their numbers are because they still doubled down with the Wall Street Journal on 18 million. I think it's, I know people were saying like it's higher. It's not, I think it's negligible as to if it's 18 million, 22 million, 23 million, even 30 million. I think where they want it, what is Satya's number? So I just think that, we've seen what Microsoft does with when things don't grow to the expectations that their upper management wanted to. And what they do, they pivot, they change, they put games on Steam when they didn't want the games on Steam. It was all about the Windows 10 store, and then they pivoted because nobody was going there. And I think this is going to probably be another pivot if this Game Pass doesn't grow, especially with the Halo and the Forza coming out this holiday, which I'm sure they're saving on it. But do you think that, what do you think? How long do you think they're going to ride this train? That's my question to everybody. What do you think? How long do you think they're going to ride this train before they pivot? Not they're going to shut down Xbox, but how long do you think they're going to ride this thing out?
Well, one thing is evident, right? Whenever Xbox has numbers to show off, they're going to show them off. So the fact that they haven't tells you something because they've shown off numbers about how many zombies have been killed, little nonsensical things like that. So, and Aaron Greenberg was the one that started this entire NPD thing during the 360 era, always putting up the NPD numbers because obviously Xbox 360 was selling well in the US. So the fact that we don't see Game Pass numbers tells you that, yeah, they could be around that 18, maybe 20 million range. And it's one thing that I always wondered about Xbox because, as you stated, Jez, in the beginning when you were introducing me, I was heavily involved with Xbox. My podcast was all about Xbox. And so I used to wonder why would Jay Allard or Peter Moore leave such a prestigious position as the head of Xbox. And I realized that there must be some type of restriction when it comes to creative control that these guys aren't playing around with, and they just left. And to me, having Phil Spencer as the last guy willing to not really push his control or push his creativity into the brand, but basically buy into what Nutella. I always call him Nutella. I'm sorry. Nadella, sorry.
Nutella.
It's just a habit.
Nutella. So sweet.
So, yeah, so sweet and brown. So yeah, it seems, and a friend of mine who you guys might know, I'm not gonna name drop. He's from the community, but he's been hosting Xbox events. He told me, he hit me up one time because I put up an episode talking about how Phil Spencer is the puppet. He's just the voice, the face. And he corrected me. He said, no, Phil Spencer was the one that came up with Game Pass and pushed it extremely hard in order to save the brand. So I've heard similar stories like that, so I'll believe it. Because this individual knows Phil Spencer way more than I will ever do.
Gotcha.
So the fact that Phil Spencer pushed a service instead of creativity, it's a big
you're right.
indication of the future. And everybody's been saying it. This is nothing new.
Sure, yeah.
The fact that there could be a little dongle stick and that's your
Mhm.
Xbox. You
Yep.
plug it into your USB port. That possibility has always been there because Microsoft is a software company. First and foremost, that's how they made their legacy. So it's not surprising that if they decide, okay, we have a service that is currently uh, generating money, because gaming industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and mobile gaming is huge. And if they're trying to find that market, it's not going to work with xCloud because the resolution is weird.
Mhm.
Um, but as we know, the Xbox that I know, that you and I know from the 360s,
Yeah.
360 days, unfortunately, that Xbox has
It's
had
gone.
its time.
Yeah, it has
It's
time.
gone. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now we just have to adjust to a new generation of Xbox or a new direction
Yeah. And
and accept it for what it is.
and I know, and that's the thing. Like, fine, like accept it, and I understand that they pivoted and stuff like that. But the issues that I'm having with it is that the games are pivoting with them, and these games are being
Yeah.
made, and that's where it's like, you know what? Because they used to put games on PC, they used to have Xbox Anywhere on your mobile phone. Oh, here we'll put one game everywhere. This is the vision they've been talking about when I bought my Windows phone and all this other stuff. But the thing was, is that the
Yeah, I had a
games,
Windows phone.
yeah. I mean, out of the Nokia, like they were awesome phones. Like they were just didn't have the apps,
Yep.
And the thing was, is that they said the apps are coming. It's coming. It's coming. And they will talk about how you could have this one app that goes on everything. But the thing was, is that the games still met the demands of the core audience, of the customer, what they build the Xbox 360 to be. And even in the beginning of the Xbox One, even though that they were like not having good messaging with the TV and entertainment stuff and Connect and snapping, even though I like snapping a lot, they had the games. Like somebody went out there and got Titanfall exclusive. I was like, yep, we're in, we're good. This is gonna be a great generation. They got Titanfall. That's gonna be the next evolution of Call of Duty. So that's the third tier. You'll have Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Titanfall, and Xbox will have Titanfall and Halo, and we'll be going back and forth between those, and then Gears will come in. And you think like, and then they'll have some, like, they did Rise, which, maybe they'll do a Rise 2. And then Sunset Overdrive, they partnered with Insomniac, which was a jab at Sony. They got Ted Price on their stage. They had Kojima on their stage. The first time Metal Gear Solid was coming on an Xbox. Like, this was early in the Xbox One generation. They were making statements to do this. And then to just get, and then even in innovations like Scalebound. Yeah, like Scalebound, where I was like, wow, that's a game that you never would see on an Xbox. Like that looked interesting that they were doing that. And then they still got the exclusive of Dead Right. Like they were games. They had this vision. And then all of a sudden, when he started talking about games on PC, now you start getting your Sea of Thieves and and then the development of Crackdown 3, which really was like, oh my God, what are we doing with this franchise? And then it just keeps dropping. And then I was crossing my fingers about Halo, and we talked about it, and we'll talk about Halo, and now it's like, where are we at right now? And this is after years of waiting that there's this lapse of games. Like, it's like you're making more devices, you're doing more interviews, you're trying to sell more hardware, more controllers, more, but the games are less and less. What's happening? Like, I don't understand.
When Don Metric left, Don Metric was responsible for all that stuff you just mentioned with
getting those deals, right?
The Xbox One. Xbox One, not Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking about that difference, I know, but people say it's better. Yeah. It's better now. But
who mentioned? Was it JVB or was it Brap that said that we'll never get the Xbox that we used to have? Who said that?
The JVB, I think said that.
Yeah, I've said that so many times before that we're more Microsoft than Xbox than ever, and I totally agree with you. Like, that generation of Xbox we had is gone. It's not the same. And Microsoft is becoming basically the original OG Xbox but in a different way. They're going back to that. We're struggling to get this. We're struggling to get that because I think they have their hands dipped in too many pots and they're trying too many things to see what works. And whatever works for them, they're going to stick to it. So if Game Pass works for them, that's what they're going to go with. And they're just going to leave it there. And that's what they'll go with. That's they don't have to try too hard because if Game Pass just generates whatever, they're like, oh, we can stick with that. I think the console will be there. I give it 10, maybe 15 years from now. I think the Xbox we know of now will be different. it will be that little thumbstick you see. And people are sitting there like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy the Xbox thumbstick, and it'd be like a Fire Stick.
But it
You know
needs
what
to
I'm
have the
saying?
content,
Yeah.
you know. But people can shove that
Yeah,
thumbstick up their ass if it doesn't have any content on it.
and I think the hardware is important just because the hardware to me, it kind of gives you that kind of old school mentality. It's like how we used to do things. And at my age, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't want to stream games. It took a while for me to get on the digital, and I do digital now. I don't even buy games anymore as far as physical because unless it's a collector's edition, I'm like, I'm just gonna download it and play it. And once I download it and play it, I'm done. And then my whole reason for going digital is I profile share with of my buddy. So he buys a game, I buy a game. He buys a game, I buy a game. So we're basically getting two games for the price of one. In which I've heard some people say, "Well, profile sharing is cheating the system." But I'm like, both Microsoft and Sony allow this. Why not use
Yeah, just
that?
like the dollar bill
You know?
deals and eating a bunch of Chips Ahoy to get a dollar bill.
Exactly.
Like, that's what I mean. Gamers are going to game the system. That's the whole point of
Yes.
this whole, like, the success of Game Pass and hitting the numbers. Like, it's all going to depend on the success of the games. And the fact is, if you're going to do a subscription, you need to have consistency. You need to have content. You can't just have something for the sake of something. And, going back to what I said on Thursday about Booty's interview, that stinky ass interview that Booty did, but he was saying that he looks at his studios as a production, not as a creative content, like creative. It's as a production, like a factory, just pumping out games and pumping out stuff. And then when he said his involvement, I think we all question. I know Rap, like, on his show and Frog and I, and we question about the quality and what is the management oversight to these studios. The guy got 23 studios now. I don't know how much involvement in Bethesda they got, but this guy's clapping at all these studios. And he says his job is to make sure nothing gets in their way. He don't want to tell them he just doesn't want to get in their way. Oh, something's bothering them. He sounds like a coffee errand boy. You are the manager. You are the liaison of the studios to Phil Spencer. You are his right-hand man, his consigliere. You talk in his ear, tell him how they're doing. Craig, yeah, he's a little bald. He's not ready for prime time. Keep his ass over there. All right, fella. You don't go, here he is, bald as a baby's ass. You don't send Craig over to Phil and say, ship it. He's supposed to be there going, Bonnie, yo, this don't look like ready for prime time. This is Halo. We would not have an Xbox if it wasn't for Halo, Bonnie. I think we need to do this. His advisement would help. Look what Shuhei did, with God of War.
God of War.
Yeah, Booty goes in there and he goes, Bonnie, extra foam, the 2 sugars, 1 sugar. Well, anybody else have any? You need more time. I could buy you more time with Phil. I got Phil, they need some more time. Hey, Phil, you see that thing out the window? Hey, they need some. Bonnie, go. Like, what the hell? Like, he seems like he's hands off and he's just letting, just things go. He is the heartbeat of these studios. He is the quality man. And even though his name's Booty, it just sucks. Like, it writes itself. The guy's name is Booty. Like, you don't think quality comes out of a booty, but Jesus. I'm sorry, but the guy, like, he comes up there, they're probably giggling in the corner. Like, here it comes, clapping. He's like, look at that booty, look at that booty. Here it comes, like, oh. Meanwhile, Herman Holtz, the guy friggin', he's like ripped open shirt, the chest hairs. He's like, clarity, I shut you down, you son of a bitch. This is Herman Holtz. Don't mess around. And, that guy comes around. Everybody's like, oh, shit, here comes Herman. Get your shit together. Here it comes. And Booty comes over there going, hey, you need anything? Like, it just he seems so hands off. And then you wonder why this is looking like this. Why the studio is struggling. Like, they have all these people. Like, what you need. He's the heartbeat. And, the fact that he was just like, hey, I just make sure things don't get in their way. And it was very disappointing hearing that. And it's like, I think that's where we find where the disconnect is with, who's playing these games? Who's seeing the full product and saying it's greenlit? Who's doing that? Those studio heads, yes, they're very important. They run the studio, but they are in it every day. You need an upper manager to come in and look over their shoulder and say, hey, you live in this. As a creative person, you live in this stuff and you might think it's perfect, but then you get somebody else who's looking at it. They might say, oh, no, this is, we need to fix this. We need to get this. Like, that's where his oversight needs to come. And he basically sound like we're putting the lights on. he sounds like they're a security blanket for these studios. And I was just like, so you make these people just run wild, like, and just run. And I said this on the Crossfire podcast, and I'll say it here just for the record, because everybody knows, for the record, it's like people are like, well, creative development. And then I said, I could give my children crayons and say, creative, do what you want. And then when I come back, there's writing all over my walls, on the ceilings, on the floors, on the doors. I'm like, oh, shit. No. And then I'm like, but if you have a parent there, say, hey, here's the paper. Do whatever you want, but this is where you draw it here. There's confinement. There's organization. It's like, yeah, you draw your art. You can do whatever you want, but just do it here. You don't do it all over the place. And just having that management, that oversight is a difference. So it's not creative restriction. It's creative guidance. And that's what you're hoping they have. And we were talking about just Horizon and the quality and the identification of all these games and quality. Sony has that eye. Microsoft has that booty. And anyway, the topic of topics, we're coming to it. And one thing I want to say with JVB, and I appreciate that insight that you had, but one of the things you were saying, and speaking about this kind of like precipice, this things that these studios deal with. This thing came out from Mixer with Ninja, and I don't know some people saw this thing, but where is it? Right here, I have it right here, where he said about how they had a lot of ambition for Mixer, but it just couldn't get through to Microsoft. And this is where what Frog says, there's too much Microsoft in these products. These are consumer-facing products, and Microsoft just doesn't have that consumer-friendly service thing. They think enterprise. But anyway, this is what he said. Oops, I had it queued up, and now I clicked on the wrong thing.
And he was actually one of the ultimate deciders, and just kind of like envisioning where I would end up. But it was like,
what does he say right here?
What was the thought process for you? Were you ready and geared up? Like Twitch was the only option? Were you considering YouTube? Were you considering Facebook? Like, what was the biggest priority for you?
Really good question, man. And I can tell you that we had months of like a month and a half of legitimate debate, like faith that we actually had in the platform. Didn't think that Microsoft was wall, bro. Didn't think that Microsoft.
There it is, right here. I'm trying to get his buffering.
And we really believed in Mixer too. Like, actually, I want all my fans and everyone to know, like, dude, the amount of like faith that we actually had in the platform. Didn't think that Microsoft was going to be that big of like there was just this wall, bro, where we would talk to Mixer and we're like, hey, like this is what really is preventing people from coming onto the platform. And then they were like, okay, we got to go to Microsoft, so it'll be like a year before we can make any changes. And it's like,
I will say to that point,
so like. He was saying that we had these great ideas, but they had to go to Microsoft with it. And then Microsoft was like, it'll take a year to resolve this thing. And I think, it's this slow moving cruise ship because it's so big, but the creativity just seems to like, it gets lost somewhere in between these studios and in between this stuff, like the quality and creativity of what they can do to answer to this disconnect. And it just doesn't understand. Yeah, money. I know. I don't know how much how far I would throw Ninja in this thing. Like money, man. They bought his ass. He banked out. But I think the main point is that he had a lot of ambition for the platform and where it can go. And it just seemed like Big Daddy Microsoft just was like, they had to go through. Oh, it has to go through Exate. It has to go through all this thing. Does it fill the vision of this? And that's where a lot of this kind of the games that we're seeing are getting influenced by this overall vision. And talking about the big one, let's go to the Grindstable, and we're gonna talk about this Halo thing. We're coming to it right now. Let's do this. What we're all here for. Let's go. All right, so Halo Infinite campaign. So let's do. I'm gonna have the video run, but you guys will go right down the line. Let's see who's here. I think Rap is here. Oh, that's it. Hold on, let me double check. See, we got Rap, Frogs, and JVB. So we'll start with Rap at the top. just go through your initial impressions. I'm going to show the video, and then just go through your initial impressions of what you saw, what you liked, what you disliked, and we'll just go down the line of that. So, Halo campaign thing today that they showed, that overview. It was 6 minutes of that. So
it felt like 5 minutes, but
oh, damn.
Yeah.
She loved that minute. So, what was your impressions? Good and bad?
All right. Let's see here. Where should I begin?
At the
all
beginning.
right. So, yeah. So visually speaking, it looks better. Like, it definitely looks better than what we saw a year ago. So that, I think that's encouraging. You know, like, some of the cinematics look pretty cool. I guess. So here's the thing for me, and I think JVB said this, I think, earlier in the show, about having that perspective of Halo. I think you were talking about Halo, JVB, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I remember Halo 20 years ago, right? I remember how Halo was. Microsoft always treated Halo like a big, like, Halo was always this big event, right?
Yeah. Yep.
This didn't seem like a big event to me. And it's your campaign.
You're my #1 customer.
It's one of the things that Halo is really known for. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about the multiplayer, which is funny because in the same breath I hear people say, "Oh, no one plays campaign; they play multiplayer." But then when this tweet came out yesterday that they were going to show campaign footage, oh yeah, they're going to show campaign footage, amazing. It's like, well, wait a minute, well, which one is it? Or, like, you know, but this how they've handled the campaign and really the game, and this has been my biggest criticism of Microsoft. And it's funny, like, I got a lot of flack on Twitter today. People think, oh, you know,
I saw that, like, you got, and then
Yeah,
you
I'm
like
just
responded like, I do like it, but like, what, if people coming
like, look,
at you?
I mean, here's the thing. I some of these people don't have the historical perspective that I have, right?
Mhm.
And know what that impact of Halo is like, right? You know, they just don't. So I think a lot of them don't understand, like, kind of where I'm coming from. They think that I'm probably, you know, like a PlayStation fanboy or something, or
Yeah,
you know.
they jump right to that.
But look, I'm not. Look, Brap. I'm not with the Brap show. Like, we're not here to be marketers of platformers, like platforms, right? We're not here to go out there and be like, yeah, you know, Xbox Series X is bringing this heat. You know, like, that's not what we do on Brap, because we're gamers. Like, we do the Basement Radio K podcast show every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shameless plug.
There you go. Sirens.
And we get on there and we just talk about video games, because a lot of us are gamers. A lot of us have been gaming for a very long time. I've been gaming since I was 5 years old. So I've been gaming for.
Say it. Say it, Rap. Say it.
What's it?
You were
Oh yes, I was also an Xbox Live beta tester.
There it is. I got it on my
Yes.
show. I got it.
I was. You know,
Woo!
I was. I could see. I was. You know, an Xbox Live beta tester.
Yes.
And so, and one of the reasons why I got into the Xbox Live beta was because of Halo. And I used to play Halo before there was Xbox Live on a, you know, LAN parties, and also on a virtual LAN through Xbox Connect XPC. I don't know if you remember that, JVB.
No,
XPC.
I remember that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we used to, you know, I used to hook up. You know, we used to call each other on our cell phones.
Yeah, it's pre-Halo 2
We
days because
communicate.
there was no online.
Yeah.
You need
There's
LAN
no
parties.
online. Yeah. So, you know, the thing is, so Microsoft has always treated this like I said, like a big event, and then for them to tweet this out like in the evening yesterday, and then be like, oh, by the way, we're gonna have a campaign overview of a game that we haven't shown anything campaign related in about a year. And by the way, that's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific, or 6 a.m.
It was a weird
Pacific
time.
Standard Time, which a lot of people are probably sleeping on the West Coast, and then 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which many of us are up at that time, and on the East Coast. That was odd timing, and I think part of that is because what they showed is a visual improvement, like,
Yes.
no doubt.
Mhm.
But I have a lot of questions about this game, and I don't think they're I don't think they're necessarily confident in the single player as they are the multiplayer. And having played the single player or having played the multiplayer flight recently, I can say that the multiplayer is probably going to be the strongest part of this game, hands down. Like it's the best Halo multiplayer since Halo 3. It is the best Halo multiplayer that 343i has ever done. And that's a great thing for the
So you
for the
think
franchise.
it's better than Halo 5?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's better. I like it definitely more than Halo 5.
Really?
Absolutely.
Because I thought Halo 5 was more
yeah.
ambitious. Like they had a lot of stuff going on in Halo 5, like Warzone
Yeah.
and the arena. But
Yeah, like people like that's what I'm saying. Like it's funny. Like some people like do like the how it was moving the franchise forward in that
moving
regard.
forward, yeah.
But I think for me, I think that, you know, and I certainly appreciate that they try to do that. I think that was big, but I think unfortunately the community just that wasn't vibing with them, you know. But I do think that from from like traditional Halo, I guess multiplayer, if you will, like they nailed that, right? And I think that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to appeal. It's going to make a lot of the hardcore Halo fans happy. That's not for me though anymore. Like I said this on Brap. Like I moved on from Halo years ago because I used to play competitively, and I got tired of it after a while because I used to practice. Like we used to literally practice on like certain X amount of nights.
It was a different world back then too, but like
it was different.
It was yeah.
What up, guys?
Yo, what's up,
Yeah,
Blake? How you doing, man?
What's up, Blake?
What up?
So my thing is, okay, so not to kind of get off topic with the multiplayer, but so
yeah,
I just
about
get
what
the
you
feeling
saw
that they're not.
today.
Yeah, so I'm just not. I just think with the way they've handled this, I don't think that they're necessarily confident in the campaign per se. But again, what I saw looks good. I guess the only concern that I have is that this game seems like an open world game, a la like a Far Cry. I was joking with Dark Optimus, the Dark Optimus today. I said this is like, you know, Halo Far Cry 6. Like how this big open world game with these side missions and these hubs, and like we don't know anything about the hubs, and we don't know anything about like they shut off like customization, what you could do with Master Chief and his armor. My thing is like Halo for me has always been this great linear, you know, narrative driven experience, and now it's being introduced into this kind of what I would call the like the Ubisoft formula of games, you know,
which
like
is not good.
Just Cause, which I mean, look, it's not what I want to see done with Halo.
Is this your Halo? It's not my
no,
Halo.
it's not. But it's not my Halo. But it's not what I want to see with Halo. And I think that this only highlights the big miss of not having co-op campaign. Because
oh my god, yeah,
introduces open world, and you're gonna have all these side missions. Like, what better way to do that than do it with your friends or do co-op? Like, I think that's a big miss. So it's gonna be interesting how they tie into how they keep the campaign or the story immersive. And keep you engaged without making these side missions that don't mean anything to the overall story or don't add any value per se, and that are just there for the sake of doing things. Yeah. Like I don't think every game needs to be, oh, I could do a side mission here, or I can talk to this NPC and get another side mission. I don't even want to see Halo go down that path.
Who knows? Like, I don't even think it even has that level, and that was another thing. But yeah, like I feel that. Anyway, I'll get to JVB. JVB, you have anything? What did you think?
All right, so I put on my Twitter that I liked how it looked because visually it looks miles better than what it did last year, and it looks really good. I'm not gonna bullshit, but is it the Halo I'm accustomed to? Well, unfortunately, no. And just to give a quick backstory, I'll try not to be too long, but as you know, I started podcasting with Podtacular, which was all about Halo. And then I became involved in the Halo community, and I was flown to review and play Halo 3 before everybody else. And not just me and a few other people. And 24 hours before the official launch in Seattle, they locked us in a room for 8 hours, and we played nothing but Halo 3.
Oh my God.
So the opening of Halo 3 is long lasting because just imagine being locked in a room with the lights down and you're hearing Cortana talking to Master Chief and saying why she picked John. And she said it wasn't because of your skills, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was because you were lucky. And then you see him flying down from the freaking from space, and then he looks like he's dead, and then he freaking unfreezes himself. So, and even before that, with I Love Bees for Halo 2, I'm sure you guys remember that shit. The
yes.
Augmented reality game that Bungie brought out, and you had clues all over the internet. And the final clue was a destination in certain parts of the United States.
Yes.
In New York, it was a movie theater. And I was able to play Halo 2 multiplayer against Seattle. And I think it was Seattle, San Francisco, and Texas. And that was like my friend and I went. And that was like our biggest dork moments. So I was, I still have... My son has hundreds of Halo action figures. He's 20 now. We have books, blah, 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 all that shit. So, like Brett was saying, when Halo was coming out back in the days, and let me rephrase this, when Bungie's Halo was coming out, it all started with Halo 2. You saw the commercials for Halo 2. You saw Master Chief. He sees the freaking... Banshees flying over his
You're
head.
my number one customer.
Iconic pose with the two fucking not battle rifles, the MPGs or whatever, dual wielding. Then Halo 3, you had the you had the whole dramatic diagram. I think it was like the animation where the brute had Master Chief by his neck, and then you see a little plasma rifle, a plasma grenade, and that dramatic music by Marty O'Donnell.
So where's all that? All that beautiful stuff you're talking about.
So seeing this single player reveal didn't bring any of that. It was nothing. I was like, man. I was like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks cool. And I was like, well, where is that wow moment that's gonna have me thinking, should I buy an Xbox One X for this game? I could play it on my Xbox One. I'm not gonna get the same experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, there ain't no there nothing in this video that shows me that I have to go out and buy the Xbox One X. And that was the reason I was holding off for an Xbox One X. And
One
I'm
X
still
or
going to buy it.
Series X or Series X or One X? Okay.
Series X, sorry. And this was the reason why my son and I were holding off for Halo. I'll buy it. I'll buy the game, that is, because we've purchased all of them. And to have in our collection, we're just going to buy it straight out. But the magic is gone. And you know what? I wouldn't want to be in 343 Studios' shoes, because the fact is they need to appeal to guys like us, and they need to try to appeal to a brand new audience that has no idea who the fuck Master Chief is or John 117 is. So they have a tough road ahead of them. So I can see why they're going for more of an action-packed multiplayer experience, free to play. And the Master Chief saga, the story, is going to be in parts. I could totally see why they're doing it. Not for me, but I wish them the best.
Hey, real quick, I want to ask, because JVB's got a great perspective. Like, he talked about like Halo 2, the Halo 3 reveal, which if you watch that E3 trailer from 2006 was like had you on the edge of your seat. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's missing, I think, here. And the other thing I was going to say too is, like I think JVB brings up a great point. Like I wouldn't want to be in 343i's shoes. I I agree with him, but I also think that in some ways, I think because they have gone back to the well so many times with Halo, and somebody brought this up in a Spaces I did today, and I forget who it was. I think it was Gaming Logic Q. I think he brought this up, and I thought it was a great point. That with so many iterations, so many numbers now of Halo, and how iconic that franchise is, that the bar keeps getting higher in a lot of ways. And I think that's like when you said that, JVB, like I don't want to be in their shoes. I think that in part, yeah, like that's got to be hard because you got to be able to appeal to a new gamer, and you got to be able to appeal to the old gamer. I would say the old gamer, the gamers who have been with Halo for the last 20 years. So how do you balance that? But I don't know if this is the way to go, though. I don't know if shoehorning a games as a service Halo game is the way to go. And it could very well work out. We may look back at this a year from now and be like, holy shit, 343, I really turned the ship around. They put out this great game. They're putting out great, episodic content. But I don't have confidence in that happening because of how they are handling the presentation of Halo Infinite from the campaign perspective, and with the development turmoil that this game's had, and the fact that 343i has never really been able to make a complete Halo game per se, right? They've either gotten the campaign right, or they've gotten the campaign wrong and the multiplayer right, or they didn't get the multiplayer right, but they got the campaign right? So it's just, I don't know. And I think there's examples out there. I mean, and maybe this is a franchise because they've done it so many times now that this bar is set so high for Halo, and that maybe it's just unrealistic for us to, as fans.
No, it's not our fault. It's their fault. It's not.
But what I'm saying is, my point is, I guess it's hard to, with that bar so high, for a developer to keep meeting that,
but
especially
listen,
with a game like this.
This is what I'm gonna say. The bar high though, but look at Halo 5. Halo 5 still impressed us. Like,
yeah, but
it's not like crazy expectations here.
Yeah, but but I think maybe it's a situation where this is a game that maybe should have been put to rest for a little bit. Give us some time.
It was
to breathe.
6 years.
I mean, I think it probably should have been longer than that. To be honest,
damn.
In my opinion.
And know what else?
I've joked around about I've joked around on Brap they should kill Master Chief. I thought maybe 343i should have just after Halo 4.
I thought about that.
Yeah, but after Halo 4, put it to rest. Maybe work on something else, and
they
then
call
come
343. That's the problem. They pigeonhole them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I don't. I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
No, I agree, but the thing is that I find is like I understand about over making expectations and things like over anticipating something, but you also got to look at what their marketing is. And as we were going through this, I was showing the 2018 announcement trailer of in-game demonstration of the Slip Space engine, now known as the Shit Space engine, and what they were showing us for what Halo Infinite was going to be. Then they showed, Joel, bootleg Joel, which is like he had his clean cut in 2019. And then they showed us the 2020 reveal of Hairless Crag. And now we got here. Like, they basically said powered by the Slip Space engine. They sold a promise that they could not meet. That's on them. They shouldn't have shown that if they said, hey, this is what we want. I swear, remember when they showed that in 2018? It looked like it was like I said, the Lion King. It was like I was waiting for Elton John to go, him and yada, the day we arrived on the planet. I'm like, what game is this? And meanwhile, it's freaking Halo.
Wow.
And I'm like this. I'm like, oh my God, Halo's gonna be crazy.
Pretty good impression, man.
Thank you. It's like it's gonna be crazy, dude. They show the animals and they're like, what is this game? Oh my God. And meanwhile, now we're just trying to ask for some facial hair on the goddamn characters that we got to fight. What are we doing here?
But just my point though is that my point is when you make a game so many times, and it's been a good game, I think that it gets harder and harder to meet that bar. It's not easy to do. Yeah, it's not easy to do at all.
How they do a God of War?
I gave 343 2 chances. I didn't like 4. I kind of forgot 5 came out. And I was like, you know what? This franchise has been so good that I'm willing to forgive. a few bad, integrations. So maybe this is the one that kind of that allows me to forgive them. It doesn't necessarily. If it could meet at least ODST, I'll be happy with that.
ODST was a really good game.
Yeah,
Yes,
ODST was good.
So let me, JVB, let me ask you a question.
Notice I didn't say reach or 3 or 2, because those are high standards.
So let me ask you a question, JVB, because again, you go back, far as I do with the franchise and have those great memories. Do you think that this is over ambitious for 343i to make this open world sandbox game with these side missions? Like, are they? You think they're going to be able to pull this off?
10 years.
Well,
maybe.
single player wise, yeah, because they have 10 years. They already set
They got 10 years. They got a decade to fix it.
Yeah. So eventually, it could reach. It could meet that expectation, but. The bottom line is as I said before, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, but the bottom line is, just like every other career, they're getting paid to deliver something that we expect them to deliver. So at the end of the day, I'm friends with Frankie. I haven't spoken to him in a long time because he's been drowned in with 343 stuff. I know a few people who still work there. They're very passionate about the franchise. So I know that it's not a bunch of people working on this that don't give a shit about the franchise. But you have people overhead maybe telling them, look, we need something now. And I stated in one of the shows before that this was the only game this year that Microsoft could bring out that could potentially make the money out of Game Pass. And they need that. They need a game where people are going to recognize and during the holiday season go out and buy it at Target. Buy it at Best Buy or Amazon, not wait for it on Game Pass.
Yeah, true.
So I think they're in a tough position, but they have a few years to like kind of get some leeway.
Yeah, geez, I don't. Like, what did you think of that
I know
thing
that's
today?
not saying much, but
what do I think about what now? Halo.
What did you think of that Halo
trailer?
Infinite thing that they showed today?
That shit was trash. Look,
oh damn! There we go.
Listen, man.
Oh
First
man,
of all,
you went right to it.
Listen, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of being over dramatic, but you announce the trailer late at night, just one night. You say we're gonna have a trailer at 8:00 my time in the morning. I'm like, what? And then so you just randomly announce you're gonna be showing off some campaign stuff, and I'm looking, and it's like, okay, it looks a little better. I mean, what is this open? I don't want an open world Halo game. I don't understand what's going on over there. The quality of the game, it looks good, but it doesn't look next gen. It looks like an Xbox One game. It doesn't even look like, I don't know, what did they even show it on? Did they even say?
Oh, I don't even know what it's playing on, actually. And they're like weird ass things missing too. Like, I'm going to show like this one, like this scene where he's fighting and he shoots these brutes. They go blowing up, and there's like no water effects at all. Like the guy looks like there's dust coming out of him. Like what are we doing here? You just spent 2 years talking about 12 teraflops.
The effects are lacking. The game does not look like a tentpole franchise. It doesn't look like it's evolved at all. It just looks stale. The world looks stale. You don't even see. It doesn't even seem like the characters are interacting with the environment, the explosion. I mean, it just looks. It looks dated. Like, it doesn't look bad. It just looks very.
It looks better than last year, but last year was no shine at all. At all. That's the problem.
When you look at that game and you look at some of the stuff that we got last gen on the PS4, it's not even living up to the stuff that we got on the base PS4.
No.
So what are they doing over there? I don't understand what's going on. And I like Halo. I buy every one of them.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've been contemplating not buying the damn game because it's not. We're not even getting the full experience at launch. I'm not a Game Pass person per se. I have it, but whenever my $1 deal runs out, I will not be renewing it. So I want to buy games to play on my Series X, but I mean, what are we doing? I don't know. I was disappointed. I was disappointed.
Yeah, and the thing is like I'm gonna get into the mission structure and stuff like that because that's the kind of the question there. But like, we got somebody on here that had to grind his gears, and I invited him in because he's very upset. And Social Destruct, welcome to the Grindhouse, and you had some stuff to say about this, so I'll let you have the mic, and then I'll follow up with that. But how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me in.
How you doing? Yeah, so he was, when I get the sense that the grinders are in distraught, the Grindhouse is a place of solitude and sharing. So he was grinding his gears. I'm like, know what, Social? Get on this show and tell the world how you feel about what they're showing you. So again, Social, tell them what you think.
What they showed today after the reveal, I don't know what I was hearing and seeing online was the whole point of, well, it looks all right. It looks fine. It looks okay. I'm not good with that. Like, I want something to wow me. Like, I don't have a Series X, but from what they showed today, nothing in what they showed wowed me at all. Like, there's nothing in that trailer that told me I need a Series X. Like, just what they showed. It looked good. It didn't look bad, but there was nothing next gen about it to me. Now, I bought Halo 1 on the first Xbox. That's what made me buy an Xbox. I didn't walk up to the game and say, it looks all right. It looks okay. Like, that whole game brought me into the world. Like, it looked good, played good from what it was back then. Just like what Brad was saying earlier. Just from that point on, it kept on getting better. I remember them having campaign reveals where they would, let you know, ahead of one night, like they did last night with the announcement today. So I don't know.
Early in the morning, breakfast.
Yeah, what they're doing over there, I have no clue. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what direction they're going. I mean, I don't like the whole open world. I like the whole character-driven narrative campaign. I mean, I played Halo campaign with co-op with friends online. I used to have LAN parties at my house.
Yeah. This co-op thing is going to hurt this. Like, I think with the design of this, that like we were mentioning earlier, the co-op not being here is really, I think, an Achilles heel to this whole design because it seems like it's built with that Borderlands, Destiny type, Far Cry co-op. Let's do this all together. Let's take on these bases. And not being there at launch, like, I think they're taking a big risk by just dropping this game the way it is without that co-op.
Is it a generation thing? Like, I don't know if they don't understand because I come from, like Brap came from, you came from, it's like back then
they're spread thin. I think that's the thing. Like, I think what JVB was saying, like, where he says that, they still care about the franchise and stuff like that. I think they do. I don't think that 343 just says, who cares about Chief or like this stuff. Like, I think they do. I think that there's too many grubby hands on this and there's too many people trying to make this. And this goes back to that Booty interview. He's hands off. He's not going to tell you what to make, but I'm going to help you make this for the service. I'm going to help you make this for Game Pass, for the cloud. He says those things in that interview. They are an umbrella. It's like, we'll give you the money. It reminds me exactly like the Mafia. Like, hey, we'll give you the money. As long as you do what we tell you to do, you pay us, we pay you. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of you. And I think that's what Microsoft is. They're like the Don. They come in there, they go, hey, 343, we'll take care of you. We'll make sure your family's taken care of. Everybody's taken care of. We'll make sure we'll turn this Mafia style. We'll take care of you. But you just make sure that game satisfies the Game Pass. That's all we want, the Game Pass, the services, and you do it that way, and we're on the good. We're on the same page. And I think also they got to make sure it works on millions of devices, all these PCs, and they've said it so many times. A lot of this stuff is not ready because they're spread thin. They are working on all these different configurations, so they can't get co-op and cross-play and cross-progressions and all this other stuff on day one. So they're using the service as an excuse to ship the shit later.
You say that, Jazz, but third party does it. Third party devs put games on PC, console, cross-play, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're a third party.
So maybe they are incompetent then. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are just... But you got to remember, they come from a first-party studio development, so their development style was... Remember, they're still in a transition of this whole thing. Even though this Game Pass shit's been going on, this whole multi-platform venture, they really haven't had that, like, some games have done it, but again, a lot of these studios are transitioning to this stuff. Like Gears 5, like that was Gears 4. I guess Gears 4 was on PC. No, Gears 5 was on PC, right? Or Gears 4 was launched on PC. It was Gears 5. I think 5 was the first one, right? Or 4. 4 went on PC. But 4 didn't go on day. Did it go day and date?
I think 5 went day and date.
5 was day and date. I think 4 came later. Or 4 was, because I bought 4 on the console. I didn't buy it on PC. Oh, anyway. But you got to think, some of these studios in transition. 343, I'm sure they went through a bunch of stuff because Halo 5 is a completely different design than this game. First off, they're using the different engine. But secondly, they are also putting this game on PC. And you saw what they did with Master Chief Collection. It took them 2 years to fix the game on PC for Master Chief Collection. So I just don't. You're right. Other people do it. So maybe they are incompetent. Well, who knows? All it knows is that it's not getting done. That's the problem. And when you have a first-party studio, there's certain expectations that should come. And the fact is that you shouldn't be getting the lower quality and third party does it better than what you're doing. You are the demonstrator of the platform's capabilities, especially if you want to run around unzipping your pants talking about 12 teraflops. When it comes time to show those 12 teraflops, you don't go shriveled up and sit in a corner somewhere. And that's the problem that they have. They talk such a big game about the power, the most powerful console in the world, Master Chief's ass slapped to the box. And now when it comes showtime, it's not there yet. And it's season 2. We're trying. We'll test it out. We'll tell us what you think. Come on, dude. Like you were the one spreading this most powerful console since the 1X. It's time.
Did the character look disconnected from the game today?
What was that?
From anybody else? Did the character look disconnected from the game? Like, it didn't look?
What character? Like Chief?
Yeah, the way they revealed the footage today, it just looked like the character was disconnected from the world. Like there wasn't much going on in the environment from the world perspective.
The world definitely looked very barren and it looks very lonely. Yeah. And that's one of the things too. Like when you're looking at, and these are my complaint is that when you're looking at a world like an open world game, and Sony has been doing this, with Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon, Last of Us not so open world, but like Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon, these kind of open world games, there's a certain like the world looks alive. The world looks like there's stuff going on. And this thing, I don't know if it's the trees or whatever it is, but man, when he gets on the Banshee, these look like they're just little like weapon, like little horde areas. Like there's like a couple enemies in a little area and you shoot them up. Like it looks very barren. These worlds that they build are like very immersive. Like you want to be involved in these worlds. You want to explore. And I don't think right now what they showed, it warrants that kind of exploration in open world. It kind of reminds me of like what they did with Gears, where they added that open world level where like it was like I don't want to get off the thing.
Ride around the little sled or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you see what Alex Battaglia? I can't stand that dude. But did you see what he said about the game?
With the frames, that the animations like 30 frames.
Yeah, the character.
Days Gone.
He said the character is animated at half the frame rate of whatever the game is running at, which is odd. He's been saying that. He said it about the demo, or what? I'm not the demo, but the beta, which I know that enemies used to operate at
further away.
Yeah, when they're further away. Yeah. Why is the character doing that? That don't even make sense.
I don't know. And here's the one part here, dude. Like, so we're talking about the structure of this game. This is the first time that Halo is going this route, where this open world route. I think that was the main point about this video, was more to show like how the game is going to flow. So it looks like you jump off your Pelican with we'll call him Bootleg Joel. You don't have a name. He's Bootleg Joel. And you jump off this, and you guys got Bootleg Katana called the Weapon. There's another bootleg. There's a bunch of the stunt doubles here. They drop you off, and you basically are going to go to these points on the map. And I like did some little research here on this, and I was reading when they went to that map part, right? What this map is going to look like, right? So when we come to the part here where it says the Fob Golf, all right? If you look at the menu, we see that there's a attack map. This is that icon here of the mission that he's going to do, and then he basically goes to the other mission. So I read what the Fob is basically it's when controlled, the forward operating base reveals banished and UNC activity in the surrounding area. So think of this as Assassin's Creed Tower. when you go to this place. It serves also as a fast travel hub and rally point for the Marine fire support and provide access to vehicle drops, weapons, and weapon variants. Gaining Valor unlocks the ability to resource to capture of all captured FOBs, defeat the Banished, and access the control terminal to claim this FOB. So you claim this spot, you get access to those weapon drops and the vehicle drops, right? If you look on the map at the bottom, you go, well, how many of these there are? And it's like, yep, there are 12 of them. So you will do this 12 times to unlock parts of the map. Then you go to the next part, and he goes to the purple icon. And the purple icon is called a ransom keep. This says primary operated by banished loyal Sanghili warriors. This outpost primary function seems to be related to the appropriation of the UNC material. So there's some collectibles there and things like that. So when you look at this, and that's where he switches to the ransom keep, right? And that's what this thing is, where he's going to come here now and shoot these big red flaming things that apparently you go in there, you turn it on, and these red things pop up, and you got to destroy the 3 of these things. And he highlights them in yellow before going in. Far Cry style, right? Yeah, so these things, and I believe they said there's 8 of these on the map or something like that. You got to destroy these 4 pieces right here. And he shoots a rocket from a mile away, which probably kills one of them, or you have to damage these things. And that's what he goes into in this mission to do this. And then he goes in with the brute chopper and basically fights this. And then when he blows them up, then that brute boss comes. So he turns that on to turn it off. How many times are you going to be doing this? And you're doing this by yourself. And my thing is that it's this kind of get the map back type thing. They went full Ubisoft. That's right, Dylan. Like, get the map back type thing. And it's just like, are you just going to be doing that to open up the map to get cutscenes to find out what the story is? Halo has never been this. Like, Halo has been this kind of set piece, kind of, yeah, there was some semi-open world stuff, but like you were being funneled down this action-packed kind of story, and there was set pieces.
Almost seems like, which it seems like kind of like a open world, kind of like tackle the missions as you see fit type of thing.
Capture bases, basically.
Right, but does this seem like it's going to be a game with a really strong narrative? Like, do you feel like?
It looked like it from the cutscenes. Like it looked like from the cutscenes that it did have some sort of the narrative story. But it's like, what do you do to get that? Do you just liberate areas and then a cutscene opens up, or you turn a dial and then it goes into a cutscene?
Is this going to be this Halo Creed? I mean, what is going on here?
Dude, and watch this boss fight, like the AI, and this is what he said in the animations, but like he could upgrade on the go. So this is the other thing, like he could upgrade the equipment. And one of the things I was saying about the multiplayer is that they should have like equipment of the electric shock, like use that grapple shot as like an electric beam or something like that. And in fact, that they have in a single player, I'm like, I hope that makes it to multiplayer. That would be pretty cool. But like you could upgrade your grapple shot, your shield core, threat sensor, a drop wall, and the thrusters. And basically those are the equipments that you use, and you could upgrade them with those Spartan cores. So and you could do it on the fly, it looks like. So he just upgrades his thruster here. I'm just trying to explain this. So he escape velocity, but I don't know why you even need it, because like this guy just like squats and just like moves so slow that you're able to kind of flank him. Like, like it just seems, the AI just seems a little off. Like it I don't know. Like, and I'll open it up for everybody, but the thing was about this whole thing is that if this is the route that you're going, this Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, open world route where there's upgrading paths and stuff, it seems very limited in gameplay and in progression from what they're showing to warrant this kind of game. Like when you have a Far Cry game, you'll have AIs that will detect you or hear a sound, and you could lure them out and set a trap and do the things like this. You could go in that way, or you could go in guns blazing. You could go in from the air. You could go in from a vehicle, or you could go in stealthily. You have skills like you could scale walls, or you could set traps, or do these kind of things. And you have a whole leveling up stuff. Just look at Ghost of Tsushima, of the different types of styles and things that you could expand when you have this kind of open world game. You have this kind of exploration. where are those kind of progression and development things? I'm not seeing it. I just see equipment that has 5 levels to it with like spot and bucks. And it seems very shallow, like a good start for maybe something that they plan on 10 years. But if you're going to go this route, where is the gameplay and capabilities of Master Chief to do this? The second thing I have a question on is the vehicles. He gets in a tank at the end. Well, does that tank have gasoline? Does that tank have an energy like ticker? Or you could just drive around the whole world in a tank and just wait for people to blow it up? Like, can you cheese the game like that? Just walk around strongholds and blow them up with a tank? Because there is no like kind of Days Gone type maintenance to the vehicles. Like the vehicles do they have a longevity to them? What's the situation? Like those gameplay things should be introduced here if that's the kind of game that you're trying to sell. And it seems like it's half-assed. Like it seems very basic.
It'll be in Game Pass.
Yeah, there you go. And that's like the thing.
I don't know. It to me, it's like a work in progress.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They're adding to it, well, we're not going to have it for 3 months, but we'll add it 5 months from now, and then you'll have it on Game Pass. To me, it's a way for them to renew subscriptions. To leave it, put bare minimum in the game, release whatever mode 3 months down the line to entice people to keep their subscriptions and keep renewing. So I don't want that. I don't like that direction, but that's the direction.
Listen, when these features come, like co-op and stuff, they're going to make a huge deal out of these major features coming to the game. Even though these things should have already been there, but now the game is kind of spliced up and they're going to just piece it out to you because it's Halo service now. It's not a game anymore.
Yeah, they say that.
So, yeah, that's what they say.
But do you see the like what I was trying to say? I feel that it is like a half step as to like it's a start. Like, hey, we want to create a Halo open world game. Like, what would you do? It's like, okay, well, like it's bare bones. Like, it doesn't seem like it's fully fleshed out to be that kind of game. And that's where I'm just kind of and that's why I think co-op would have kind of pacified a lot of that stuff, because it does look very lonely in what they've shown. Like, if I'm just gonna be, and apparently I think there's AI Marines that you could go save. And they could kind of like be there with you. Like, I don't know if you're building up an army. Also, too, like I was even complaining about this last year, where is this scale? Like, you show me this big world he's jumping into with these horrible trees. These are like the worst trees I've ever seen. Some bad ass trees. They don't blow. They don't do anything. They're just like dead. It looks stagnant, and they look bad in the distance as well. But like, you have this world, and you would think like you'll have scarabs roaming the land. You'll have these big ass things. Like, where's this battlefield type aspect of it? And just it seems kind of like, oh, there's the little strongholds that they're banished to holding, and just kill a bunch of guys and unlock a cut scene. Do you see? Like, I feel that's where it's going. That's what it seems like it's structured like. Am I like? Do you think? Well, you think there's other things I missed? There's something in here.
That's the direction they're going. I don't disagree at all. No.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing a lot of like, there's a big structure there, I guess, but that's like, there's a structure, but they're structures. They're not like they're not like enemies. Like like we've done so much scale. Like, I did this tweet out earlier when I showed the what they did with Halo 5. Like, and I know like Halo 5. Keep your head down and like, this is like, look at these set piece things. Like, dude, this was like, you had squad control. You're roaming around this thing. Like, there's explosions happening. Like, boom. Like, and this is just like some Twitter kind of like compression stuff. But like, just look at the stuff that's going on, and what they're doing in the game. Like, it just seems so much more like, yes, like this looks awesome. Where here it looks like, okay, well, there's some cool trick moves the guy's doing, but like, really, like, what are we? Like, how much of this am I going to do? Do I need to knock out like 8 towers before I could get a cutscene, or I could access this area? And then, is that what we're doing? And then on top of that, they got these like these drops of vehicles where, Bootleg Joel, I guess, gets his revenge because he just drops the shit on you like, fuck out of here with your fucking Banshee. He just drops it like sparks up and shit, and just like doesn't like. Bootleg Joel's like, here he comes. Like, where is he?
Stand by.
There he comes. Bootleg Joel, stand by. He's like, fuck you and your flying vehicle. They just like.
The answer is somewhere.
Dude,
on
he
Zeta
just drops
Halo.
that shit on him.
A
Like, what the
damaged
fuck?
world full of wonder, mystery, and danger.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
The way their reveals used to be.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
It used to be. It gave you that holy shit moment, like
Yeah.
those set pieces, like they did. Show the gameplay footage, show a walkthrough of it. For the half of the first stage, or whatever. You remember they used to do that with the set pieces and the campaign and all that. It's like now when they wouldn't do that, then they say, "Oh, by the way, we're doing an overview tomorrow morning, the night before." I'm like, come on, that. I'm sorry. Like
that really ticked you off. That was a
Halo.
grind your gears that they did like that.
Look how they're treating this game. They're not treating this game with any kind of importance.
They're not
or
treating
care.
it with respect at all.
No.
In my opinion. I don't know if you disagree, but that's how I feel. I mean, I'm a fan of the old Halo. I mean, I played all of them. This is the first time I'm not buying a Halo or a new Xbox system.
Here's Halo 4. Here's Halo 4 campaign reveal.
And then
Look
the
at
ones
this
that say, "Oh, it looks okay, it looks fine." If that's the case, why do you have a fucking Series X? Excuse my last. I said, "Oh shit."
That's fine. I don't
You
care.
know-
This is Grindhouse.
But why do you have a Series X? Like, if you're okay with just the gameplay and you don't care about the graphics and you think it looks fine,
It's never been a graphical showpiece. That's what they keep saying.
So, what's the purpose of having a Series X? Like, there's nothing on that system that tells me I gotta have one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, there's some games on it that are okay, but as a whole, there's nothing on it. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I know, it really is. I really am lost for words, like on how what they're doing to this game. They're Frankensteining it, and you look at what we can. And this is where I'm like, people are like, well, the Halo was never a looker and all this other stuff. I was like, look at Halo 5, look at Halo 4 campaign, like. Look at how these games, come on, I'm showing Halo 4 right now. Like, if Halo, I remember playing this going, wow, Halo 6 is going to look incredible. Like, the next Halo, if this is what they're doing with 4, what are they going to do with 5? What are they going to do with 6? And then you look at 6 and it's like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, well, Halo Infinite is just like, yeah, we put some pubes on this dude and like, here we go. I'm like, and it's not just the graphics. If you're going to do this, then do it right. If you're going to make this Halo open world that people wanted, this is the evolution of Halo, then you do it the right way. You don't do no bootleg, half-ass version where even the animations of blowing up those stupid things, like they look so lame. It looks boring. And I remember when they first revealed this game last year, they go shoot out the AA guns, Chief. And I'm like, I hope this is not the game. Like, he's not doing a very exciting mission. Like, infiltrate this, like new environments, go in this cave. Where's the snow mountains? Where maybe there's other waterfall areas and things like. Where are the incredible set pieces that want you to explore this world? And it's the same dull ass, broken ass trees. Like, I just don't get it.
We're just going to sell a Halo controller and we're good. That's all it is.
Get you, it's unfortunate that, this game, I remember going to the midnight launch of Halo 2. I remember LAN parties on Halo 1. Like, I have some fond memories of this franchise. And to see, they clearly, it just almost seems like something, this other guest, what's your name, man? God, I can't see it. Hold on.
I think JVB and Brad.
Yeah, Social Destruct, man. It just seems like they don't really care about it. They don't care about this game.
Dude, this is the brute from Halo. What is this? A Halo 2 brute. Look how intense they look.
Yeah, this game, man. I don't have high hopes for this game. When it launches, you give us a short trailer, but you didn't really show off a whole lot. So,
I'm surprised they even dropped this trailer for what it was, and I thought they were going to wait for November.
It just seemed very random and odd that they just dropped this early in the morning.
Somebody put this side by side of God of War and Halo. Like, oh my God, look at when he's looking over those islands.
Yeah, I mean, you got Horizon. Look at a game like Horizon. It's not even comparable.
It's not.
It's not even in the same league.
It's not
at all.
No, not even. It doesn't even look. You can't even compare the way Halo looks to the way Horizon Zero Dawn looks. I mean, honestly, to me, Horizon Zero Dawn is a better looking game than Halo 5. So
somebody did this thing, about the Craig stuff, man.
Maybe I'm gonna look badass.
Somebody they're putting the.
It feels scruffy.
Yeah, it hurts. They're putting the peach fuzz on Craig.
People shampoo their beard.
Did you talk about the CGI footage that people thought was in game?
Oh my god, that like this thing went on Twitter. This thing went wild. Like this whole like thing right here where like what an upgrade, and they showed that and they showed this, and everybody's like, the guy that developed the community manager goes, hey, just to clear things up, to set expectations that Ashirium on the left is not in engine. Keep your eyes peeled. Well, so basically this thing that they showed at the end was a CGI, and they said keep your eyes peeled. Like, why would you do a replica? And somebody said delete it. It's like, why would you do a replica of what you showed at the last thing when it's a CGI? Like, what are you doing? Like, why?
The real trailer is tomorrow. That's when it really drops.
What is that?
Yeah.
I said the real trailer drops tomorrow.
Yeah, right. The real trailer. Hey, this is Halo 4. Like, look at this stuff. Like, look at this game. Like, I'm just like, people like Halo was never a looker. Like, here's Halo 4 screenshots. Like, look at this game.
No, Halo 4 was definitely a graphical showpiece.
Look at this.
For the 360.
Yeah, 360 game. And then this is another thing. Like, look at this. This is what they're going against. Like Call of Duty. Look at this. They're talking about the dual sense and this stuff. Like, look at the realism that's going through Call of Duty. Then they dropped that Battlefield Specialist thing. Like,
oh my god,
dude, there's so much competition here that what?
Look, you played the Battlefield. I mean, it had some issues, but it is graphically impressive compared to Halo.
Hell yeah,
it's good.
Like really... and then they're all cross gen. Like here you go. Well, I'm just saying, like here's Master Chief, here's the Halo, and then you look at like here's God of War, and then here's Horizon. I'm like, are you kidding me? These are open world games, right? So like the third person.
Do you think it looks as good as the original God of War?
No.
It
doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look good at all. Like here it is. So this is what they thought the upgrade was. Like here it is. This is it.
That scene.
Yeah, here it is right here. And then meanwhile, they're like, what an upgrade. And meanwhile, the guy comes out and goes, no, that's not in game. That's a CGI. So then you wonder, it's like, well, wait a second. Well, how much of that Halo trailer is CGI? Like, is something in CGI? Basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then they zoomed in on this guy. Look at this. The brutes look horrible.
Even the CGI on that character doesn't look better than most Sony exclusives.
Right, yeah, that's true.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Look at the character models on Uncharted or Spider-Man. No, it doesn't.
Hey, what got to me is they were saying how much of a win it was today. Like, oh, we got a win. Look how better it looks.
It doesn't. It does look improved, but it does not.
It was improved. Like, that's the thing. It was improved. It was improved. I mean, but, like, come on. Compared to what... Yeah, here's Alex Battaglia saying, I watched there should be some stuff to talk about, but the animation issue is still present. In Infinite, the animation rate is lower than the frame rate for key first-person animations like the spike gun reload. So... Yeah, this enemy looked cool. That was cool. This beast, this elite guy, that looked kind of new. Maybe he's the boss. And then here's Craig. Here we go. So this is the infamous Craig, right? And then we had I told you I'm an insider, so I got my good friend Tony that works over there at 343, and he got hired. He's from New York, and he went over there, and his job was to draw the hairs on the face of Craig, and he did a pretty good job. Like he went over there at 343, and he went over there and he went over there and he drew some hairs. And he said, hey, he did some hairs, and then he's done with the hairs and the game's ready to go. And this is your new Craig. There he is. They put a nice little beard on him. They gave him a mohawk. And there he is there with no hair and I don't know, man. They look like they have no, and also too, like they have no emotion to them. Like when you melee them, they got that same face. Like that was the whole point of Crag, was that the guy has the same face on it. And to go back to the Halo.
You don't see emotion in his face?
No. You go back to the Halo, dude, there's no emotion in any of his friggin' faces. Where the hell is it? If you go to Halo Infinite campaign thing again, I'm gonna go back to the video and just freeze on some spots that I was just like, oh, like what are we doing here? Like, what is this? Like, it looked better, but like if you go to first off, the draw distances were off of this. And I think that, and again, they kind of built this world of like the most powerful console, the best place to play, all this stuff. And this is your biggest franchise. This is the lead forward. Like, this is what you need to lead with. And again, you look here, and I showed this part where, they're meleeing these dudes. Where is it? Is Bootleg Joel? But they're fighting in the water, and there's no water effects. And I know Thrash is gonna do like a video on this stuff, but like, I'm just going what I noticed. Like, and this is the other thing I noticed here. Like, look at this distance. Like, you're in this Banshee. First off, what prevents you from flying around this small area with this Banshee? Like, and not getting shot down and just kind of like doing all this stuff. But look at the draw distance. Like, look at this stuff back here. Like, is this the best that they have to show? I just don't get it. Like, look at the why is this not doing that? Why is it doing this thing? Okay. Like, the trees are floating back here. I don't get it. I just don't get what the aesthetic of these horrible trees are. Like, this looks good with the lighting and stuff, but again, there's no tracks with the car. No like very weak splashes. There's no tracks with the car. No mud deformation or anything. You have friggin' what's the name? You have Aloy does a smash and the ground just deforms underneath her. With the smash, you're driving over mud and it's not creating any tracks or anything. Even random as dirt, like. And there's more cutscenes. There's bootleg Cortana. Like, and there's the real Cortana. She's looking purple.
It was the lighting. That's all it was. They just needed to improve the lighting.
And then this looks so lame too. Like, you basically, so when you capture these points, you could just get this, like you could just drop a vehicle or get some weapons and stuff like that. And it's like this, like, how cool would it be to do like a dynamic call in and stuff like that? Like, it just seems very stale, very lonely. And those horrible things like the sparks and stuff, they got to fix that. But like, it just seems so like look, there's no, like, you're flying over this stuff. Is there anything on the ground that looks so empty? I don't know. And then here you go. So you got AA guns. He just jumps out of the thing, and you can see, like, you got here, that's explosive, that. Those are all explosives. And you just drop in with a rocket launcher, and then you just blow up the place.
Mm-hmm. And
that's about the only approach. Like I said, they're all those mechanisms that you would have in a game that warrants this type of exploration. Where is all that stuff? Where's your stealth capabilities? Not just the invisible shield, but like, can you assassinate in single player? I guess not. So assassinations are not there, right? So you can't. Can you sneak up behind people? Can you like lure out people in traps? Do you set traps? Can you like throw a grenade that makes noise to get people over in an area, or do you just go in with a rocket launcher all the time because that's the only thing you can do? And do this by yourself. There's no co-op. And it looks like the campaign, according to that map, is just a bunch of those kind of missions. Like, and they tell you in the thing, the Banished have all these strongholds. So like, hey, why don't you just, exactly, canned animation, Dylan. Like, why can't you just call in a vehicle like in the middle of a fight? Like like just call in a vehicle, let bootleg drop it off on you and stuff like that. But you got to go to this place and drive from there. Well, and this is hilarious too. This is so weird. They make this big intro for this brute, and then all he does is just give him a bitch slap. Like all he does is hit him, and the guy just this is where they came Craig 2.0. It knocks off his COVID mask. There he is. There's Craig 2.0. Now watch. He just got smacked. Watch his face as he goes down. Like, it's just the same. I don't know. It's just so, like, lame. It looks very empty. Like, look, he just goes down like an NPC. Like, look. No, like, oh, nothing. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. The hunters are back. There you go. With that. And then this thing was horrible. This sniper shot. And there's this other dude here. It was like Mr. T. He has like the same haircut as Mr. T. Shoot him, and now I don't know what the hell this thing is. But that's some lame ass. Oh no, that's he's saving the Marines. Look, I didn't even realize they were Marines. They're all tied up. So he just shoots this, and they're free. Let's see, I'm doing by frame by frame. He shoots that, now they're free. And now he comes in with the thing and picks them up. Here's your explosion. The explosion looks a little better. That looks definitely better. And then he gets the Marines, and then he drives off the cliff. Now here you go. Like, again, we drive off this cliff, and you look like, I don't know, man. I just looking at it, like, it just does not look. I don't know.
It looks weak to me.
It does. It looks it's lonely. It's Far Cry Chief, but like again, like you need elements to do this, and just don't.
This really needs co-op.
It does.
It really does.
Needs it. It needs it.
Mm-hmm.
It needs co-op. Like, I don't know how well this AI is. Are you building an army? Can you go out with like 20 guys on a bunch of warthogs? Like, that would be interesting. And that sounds, and then you know what? You say this stuff and they go, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe we'll add that later. It's like, what? No, that should be there day one. Like, that's the thing.
Campaign used to be the foundation of Halo. Like, you hopped online with your friends, I'll hop in to see the Warhog, hop online, play the campaign, go online, multiplayer. I don't know.
And just from some perspective here, I'm going to show the what it's up against. And like, you want to talk about like moving the needle, moving stuff forward, and like what they're going to do. Where's that specials? Like, look at the is this it? Yeah, here it is. And if you look at this, like, this is what it's up against. Like, here's your first person shooters for next generation. Right? You got Battlefield right here. Look at this. Look at all the stuff that's going on. All right? In this epic battle. You got planes, you got cars, you got explosions, you got stuff going on all over the place. Taking it to the next level. Like, this is what you calling in things. Look at this, blowing up, boom, blowing things up. And then you got specialists. And then you got, there's so many other things besides this. It shows you a complete thought. And the Halo Infinite looks like we tried. Bear with us. We got this out. Be happy that we got it out for you. And we will develop this together. They said this. We will develop this together. And it's just so uninspired and just so sad that you wait 6 years for a Halo game to drop, and the starting point is really the starting point of you helping. Look at this, coming out from a friggin' helicopter into the window. Like, dude, what are we doing here? Let's go. Like,
it looks incredible. It does.
So people are gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop this to go running around with bootleg Joel.
Yes, it's free. It's free.
I'm gonna go drop this to do this.
It's a free
This
to
looks
play
like a
game,
cartoon.
Jess.
Yeah, you can't
It's not
expect
free to play.
much.
It's $60.
No, not this game. I'm talking about Halo.
Halo.
But Halo's $60. This is $70.
No, not the multiplayer.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, look at the game. This is multiplayer too. Halo multiplayer don't look like this. But my goodness, but you saw Call of Duty, what they're doing with the triggers and stuff. Like, come on, you're not gonna be putting these games down to do this. Especially you're doing this by yourself. You're not doing this with friends. And I think that's going to really, really hurt it. I think a lot of people are just going to wait on the campaign. They'll get it in Game Pass. But they're going to jump into the multiplayer because that's the whole thing about Halo. It's a social thing. And the fact that social aspect, the Forge mode and campaign, because that is another thing that kind of reminded me of this. Like when I was watching this Halo footage, it kind of reminded me of somebody that just said, hey, I'm going to put a couple of structures here. I'm going to throw Master Chief in this world, and he's just going to go riding around and stuff like that, like a Forge. And I'm just like, it seems it's very bare bones. And even the leveling up and stuff, it's very bare bones. And I don't know. We will see where it goes from here. But here's the mission structures. And that guy who left, if you remember, this is some funny shit right here, right? You want to see something crazy? So, see all these area collectibles that are over here? Well, the guy who left, remember I brought him up the last time? He tweeted this out. How do I know every single one of these are? This thing, 12 of them and 5 of them. He goes, how? I placed them all one by one. And he no longer works there now. So, there he is. I think it's the same guy. Yeah, he left. I think he said he'd leave because he was like, I hope my work pans out of what you see. That's what he said the last time. Love this tack map glowing up. Oh, so I guess they changed it. This is what it looked like. And then it went to here. Yes, he destroyed AA guns. Ugh. Man, so I'm very unexpired. I'm waiting for where those set piece moments are, man. That's what I'm waiting for. Let's see, where's the Halo 2? I want to see one last thing. Halo 2. Scarab Battle. Where is that? Is this it? Hold on. I was going to say. This is what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, here it is. Is this it? Ah, no. Hold on. Where is it? Is this the battle? Yeah, I don't know if it's a cutscene or gameplay. Hold on. That's Halo 2 Anniversary. Here it is. Look at this. This is crazy. Is this it? Yo. I'm expecting this stuff. Look at this. This is Halo 2. We had to fight the Scarab. Dude, this is crazy. First off, I don't know what the hell they have zero gravity on, but like, man, you gotta climb this thing, jump on it. This is Halo 2. Remember this? Like the Scarab, and you had to go inside the heart and you had to blow it up and then jump off as it was blowing up. There were guys on it. I don't know if this is like a mod or anything. What is this? This is exploring. Yeah. He's on the Halo ring. He's on the Scarab. Like, this is scale in Halo 2.
This was back in the day.
Yeah,
OG
man.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Where's that wow moment for this new game? I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, look at this
That's
thing.
Which we don't have the
He's
game,
just
but
jump. Like, look at the size of the scale of this thing. You feel like I remember you feel like 2 of these in Halo 3.
you think they're gonna have anything like this in the
I don't know. Like, it just seemed
They
like
haven't showed us anything like that.
showed it.
No, I don't think they're going to. I think they took the campaign narrative driven away. You know, the narrative driven campaign away, and it's just going to be missions going around the map.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be.
That's what I'm getting. Like, yeah, it's just
Capturing outposts and doing little missions. I mean, that's not Halo.
no, man. That's capture outpost, get the map back from the banished. Like, that's
So how fun will campaign be then if they do have it? It won't be fun
I
at
don't
all.
know, especially by yourself.
I don't want to go around just taking post, post out like was saying. That's not what I want the whole time. I get bored of that real quick if that's all I did.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, here's another scene. Let's see this word. Here's another. This is Halo 3. Here they're fighting the Scarab scene. Like, look at these set pieces. Like, dude, like, watch, like, look at this. Like, first of all, look at the environments. And this is Halo 3. Look at this stuff. Halo 3, people. Halo 3. This is 6. Like, this is what I mean. Halo was never like, look at this thing. And you scale that thing and blow it up. This is the Scarab fight. I want some set piece, and even Halo 5 Guardians, and where you fight you fight the Guardian that's launching. You're jumping off as the Guardian launches. That was a set piece moment there too. Well, you have to try to get on the Scarab. It's crazy. But this dude's like
They wanted to be a subscription service game. All the set pieces are going to be gone. It's going to be mission based structure, and they're just going to keep adding new missions every I don't know however long. On Game Pass. That's all it's going to be. I don't want to say that because I'm a fan of Halo from the beginning, but I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm overthinking it too much, but it's just what I see. Like,
listen, it's the Halo service is what it is now.
Yeah, they're like, yo, you like Scarabs? Maybe in Halo 4 we'll add some Scarabs. I'm like, oh, shit. The Halo 4 Season 4 will add them. That sounds good. Just put your feedback back on HaloInsider.com and, we'll add the Scarabs if we get enough people. And that's the kind of bullshit that they want. No, I'm not going to tell you what to put in the game. Like, this is bullshit. Like, this is what I mean. Like, you're making us buy expensive PCs, subscribe to services, buy more expensive consoles, more controllers, more, but you're giving us less, and less. That's bullshit. And it's less than what we had. Look, shoot the legs out. Oh, man, he just dodged that thing. But, like, come on. This is huge. This is what I want scale. I want you. You got this huge Halo open world. Where's the son of a bitch and Scarabs? And people are like, well, Scarabs are no longer around because it's not the Covenant anymore. Holy shit. Then guess what? The Brutes better have a friggin' Scarab. All right? Not sitting around with, with goddamn growing chest hair. So this is the set pieces. Like, and again, this was huge for its time. Like, this is incredible. And and then even look at the and then the last set piece I'll get into here, where you fighting the Scarab is like, where's the Halo 5 Guardians one? Halo 5 Guardians Guardian battle. I think that's what it was. It was the one where they launched the Guardian. Was it Lone Wolf? Is it? Oh yeah, reclamation scene. Like, look at this. This is what the last game was. So I'm not even going back that far. Like, I'm not even going back that far. This is Halo was never a looker, right? This is what I want you to timestamp when you say Halo was never a looker. Oh, this is the tree should look like this. Look at this. All right? Let's get to the part. Is this the right one I'm thinking of?
The campaign is what made you buy the game.
Yeah, right? Here, look at it. Oh, no, this is the end. This is when all the Guardians are coming back.
Halo,
Is this
Halo,
the one where you're on the
Halo
Guardian?
4,
This is Halo 5.
Halo 5.
You're on the Guardian. No, this is not the one. I want one to launch the first Guardian. Like, this is what we ended with. This is the end of the world. Guardians are in the air, and now we got bootleg Joel and bootleg Cortana on this janky ass ring with a bunch of brutes that are cleanly shaven. That's what we're left with. Now, this is not. I'll find it. I'm gonna find the one where this is the reclamation scene. This is the end, the climax of Halo 5. Where is the Guardian battle when you first see it? Where is it? No, not the Chief of Loxy. That sucks. The Guardian launch, I guess it was when it launches and you're like trying to escape the town. Wait, how was it? Do you remember which mission that was? Oh my god, they have so much stuff that they're not even tying it in. I'm like watching all this Halo 5 stuff. I'm like, they just abandoned this shit. This whole storyline.
Well, the campaign is gutted, so I mean,
I know. That's the thing. It is like gutted. Like look at this freaking Halo 5 campaign. Like this is the Halo 5 gun gameplay launch trailer. Like watch this. This is the Halo 5 gameplay launch trailer.
what did they show you? They showed you the campaign.
Yeah, they show you the campaign.
Yeah, I mean, never mind now.
And this is 343 as well.
Yeah.
They're flying in. These spawns are flying in. Now, yeah, this is CGI. This is all the cutscenes and stuff. But wait, where's the game?
Yeah, they do the gameplay in the first level when you come in, I believe. Or so.
Yeah, here it is. When you drop in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here it is. Like, look at this stuff. Like, these spawns are like super soldiers, flying, jumping, going crazy. Like, dude, you're a badass. Like,
and you're telling me Infinity looks better than this? Come on now.
Come on. No way. Like, look at this. This is crazy. This is what the last game was. Why does the next game look worse?
Yeah.
Oh, because they went open world.
It doesn't look very action packed for sure.
It launched in October too. It launched October 27th. Oh, that's interesting. 2 days from now, that's when Halo launched. Halo 5. Maybe that's why they decided to show. I don't know. Interesting.
And that's why they showcased the campaign, because that was more graphically better than
impressive. Exactly.
So
yeah.
They put all their, showcase the campaign to show the graphical power fidelity of it, and then we knew multiplayer was going to be good, but it wasn't going to be on par graphically with the campaign. So now they're doing the complete opposite. They're not showing the campaign that's gutted, and we're just going to show you a subpar multiplayer game.
It's free to play.
Yeah, it's free to play.
All they want you to do is buy all those microtransactions.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not doing it in the campaign. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're doing seasons in the campaign.
No, I'm talking about the multiplayer.
Oh yeah, but that battle pass bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? What part is this? Is this? Let's see.
What do you think about what do they have after this game that's going to be released for Xbox?
Oh, that's the next thing.
Redfall. What's
oh shit!
Yeah, but what we have a release date on Redfall? We don't even know what
it's supposedly the summer.
Really?
Yeah, summertime. But the graphics. I mean, I hope they get the visuals together because it wasn't looking good from what was leaked.
So look at what we have in our first quarter for PlayStation 5. It's insane. for the month of
You got Gran
March.
That's what
Turismo,
I mean. Like, you know,
Gran Turismo, Forspoken,
yeah, and that's what yeah.
Horizon.
And that's the other thing too that they just need to learn. It's like you guys are saying, well, I got Forza and Halo. Like you know, what do you? Sony has nothing this holiday. It's like you better choose your words carefully, because you know in 2 months, right after Halo releases, it is Sony showtime. So like you're gonna get that back. Like you're just being dumb.
Sony generally leaves this
and you
holiday
see,
season
they
for
got their
third party.
showcase.
Well,
Right?
they usually let third party have this holiday season, and then they usually drop a lot of their stuff summer, spring, early first quarter. You know, but they generally, because you're going to have your Battlefields, your Call of Duties, and stuff like that dropping.
And they got the showcase
area
coming up where they're going to highlight their multi-platform games. And they're going to rely on the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and that stuff, carry them for the next couple of months. And then, boom, here come the exclusives. And we're going to be sitting here and they're going to say they're going to be trying to counter Horizon Zero Dawn, all these
Gran
Turismo, Forspoken. And they're going to try to counter them with like, oh, season 3 is coming out of Halo. We added the co-op back. It's like,
yeah.
That's what they're gonna try to do.
Right.
They're gonna counter these big Sony games with a bunch of Halo features. Like, oh, guys, you know what? We heard you. The assassinations are back this March 1st, and you're gonna be like, assassin? I'm not going back to Halo for assassinations. Give me that friggin' Gran Turismo. Give me that incredible Horizon game. Give me Forspoken. Like, nobody's gonna want to talk about. They're adding assassinations. Oh, like, guys, we heard you. Season 2, we added the scoreboard into the multiplayer, the shooting gallery. We heard you. Season 3, starting March 1st, the new content dropped to Halo Infinite. We're going to add the scoreboard and assassinations, and we added the co-op back in the game. Like, people are going to look at it with a side eye going, are you, like, is that what your plan is, to carry... to like use this Halo like content drops as a counter to Josh Ayers says Final Fantasy 16? Like, is that your plan? Like, your plan is to counter real games with like features that we should have got at launch? This is the bullshit that I said is turned into Halo. Like, they will do that because they did it with Sea of Thieves. They're still talking Sea of Thieves at every goddamn one of these conferences. They talk Sea of Thieves because they talk about content drops. And they treat that as if it's a game, and it's not. It's interesting, but you cannot be doing that while your competitor is dropping big-ass games. You know, God of War is here. Here's PSVR. When you'll be like, guys, Forge mode is coming. Season 6, November content drop.
You got Forbidden West. We got the Halo campaign. Put on Game Pass.
Like, you can't do that. Like, that's not good. That's why you need games. Like, you can't be dropping features in a game and considering that as part of the service. And that's where I think that they're wrong, because I think either they artificially took stuff out and made this kind of a skeleton of a Halo game in order to do that and be relevant in the news and to kind of count. And I just think that you cannot count on real big games with, we heard you. We adding this stuff now, and that's their strategy. And I'm telling you, the shit that I've said has come true. So I'm telling you, that's what their plan is. That's why there's no those Xbox games for January, February, March, and because they're gonna use this as their news. Like, they're gonna, season 2 is coming to Halo Infinite. Here's all that's coming in there. We added some new banish areas. We got some new weapons to run around the sandbox with. We added a new vehicle. Like, and then we added the assassinations. You wanted it back, we added it back. They're gonna be like Cheech and Chong outside the Titty Twister from Dusk Till Dawn. We heard you. We got this. We added this. Hey.
We got more missions, more composts to take out.
Yeah, more composts. Like, you know, I just don't. And again, like, I think the biggest miss is co-op, because I think co-op would have carried this game, and I think you're going to find now people are going to lean more to the multiplayer. They're going to forget about the campaign ever existed, and they're going to say go to the multiplayer because that seems the more promising aspect of this, even though I feel to me, that multiplayer is a skeletal structure of what Halo multiplayer should be. It is a competent shooter that is just there, and it has some tweaks, but it is not. There's the progression system is busted. The battle pass is busted. You don't get no XP for doing stuff in the game. Who's gonna stick around for that? And then who's gonna say, "Well, screw you, friends. I'm just gonna go run around this Halo ring with bootleg Joel and a bunch of AI bullshit that just AI fodder." Like, who's gonna leave the multiplayer to go run around a Halo ring by themselves and do outposts? If you're gonna do that, you need to have real engagement in there. Look at Far Cry. Look how all the leveling up, the different types of guns, the modifications, the vehicles, the AI at least is competent, and you could sneak up on them. You could kill them with a machete. You could get animals, unlock cages, and let the animals attack their place. Like, use the environment to do stuff. Like, have some destruction in the game. There's so many different aspects if you look at a Far Cry game that does what this is trying to do. And then look at Halo and go, well, I could level up my electricity slingshot, the zap people, and I just go in guns blazing because there is no sneaking mechanisms. There's no assassinations. There's no, like, sneaking around with the enemies. There's no stealth in Halo. They didn't add any stealth mechanics, no stealth leveling, no AI. Look at all the capabilities in Ghost of Tsushima. Look at Days Gone. Look at when you take a real open world game and you make that stuff. You make the world, you make the capabilities, you do that to the game to do that. This looks like just drop them on a Halo ring and let them run around. And I think what they're trying to do is try to capture that original Halo 1 when they dropped you on the ring, that memorable moment, and thinking, like, we'll just make a game out of that. You know, when Master Chief just drops on that Halo ring on the first game, and it's like, oh, this game is not like a Corridor Doom game. This actually, I could go left and right. And that was a revolutionary point for Halo, that mission where you'd get dropped on the Halo ring. And I think they just said, hey, you know what? We'll just do that again and just make that the game. Because that's what this is.
Because it's a subscription game.
A subscription. Yeah, exactly. We'll just drop you on a Halo subscription. The Halo ring is a subscription. We'll just drop you on the Halo subscription ring. Oh my God, Hellblade and Avowed. Oh yeah, and they'll probably show some Hellblade maybe at the Game Awards to wet people's noodles.
That stuff is not coming no time soon, though.
That's not coming next year. You think Hellblade's gonna come out for next year? It's gonna be Halo
still in
seasons.
It just went into wait a minute. They were still talking about the game being in pre-production. How's it coming next year? Who said that?
I don't know. No, somebody said 2044. Or 2024.
2042.
2042 is coming. But anyway.
Let me tell you something. That dang Starfield, what is it, November of next year?
Yeah.
It better
That's what they say.
It better not get delayed.
Yep.
Well, what production phase is it in now? It's not even, they haven't shown really anything from it. I think it's going to be delayed again, Starfield. There's no way.
Yeah, I think so.
Pre-production. Who knows? All I'm saying is I just don't think that those games, I don't think they're going to show Hellblade is going to come out like stealthily. And even this is coming out stealthily. Like, this is nowhere near. Like, I think they did this more to kind of sell for merchandising, to kind of talk about, like, to sell the Banished, to talk about the enemies and stuff. But it just, I just think that they're going to use this, and this is going to carry them throughout next year as they lead into Starfield. They're going to have some drops, maybe some Game Pass gets, and just do it again. And again, we're going to be in another year, and this is coming off of a year last year when Psychonauts and Halo, we should have played these games last year. This should have been a clean slate year for brand new games, new content, new stuff. Horizon and something else. Instead, we're getting Psychonauts and Halo, which was supposed to release last year. So, and on top of that, it's not like they got to line up for early next year either. They're going to just have Starfield, and that's it. I don't know. And Redfall, which, again, like, trust me, I think Redfall is going to drop just like Back 4 Blood. Like, it's just going to drop, be there, and it is what it is. And it's like, yeah, I want to be banking on that thing being any level of Halo or freaking God of War or Horizon or anything, or even Gears or anything. Like, that's just going to drop. Contraband is nowhere in sight. So, like, where you go? And everybody keeps saying in the chat, the Grinders are like, Wolverine and Spider-Man 2. Exactly. Do you think Sony's done? That's the tip of the iceberg, dude. That is the tip of the iceberg, and they still got KOTOR, and they still have the what the hell the Santa Monica's working on? What is Studio Bend working on? Where is the Factions 2, which will probably blow up the friggin' world with anything Naughty Dog does on the new console? Like, and then where's the Ghost of Tsushima? Like that Sucker Punch, what are they doing? Like, you have not, and then on top of that, they got the VR. Like, what are you doing next? Next year, Sony's bringing even more guns, and they're gonna have even more stuff to announce. And if they go to the Game Awards this year and talk about any kind of, and what's Bluepoint working on that they purchased, all those other studios that they announced in the super chat earlier about all those the Jade Raymond studio, like, they're not stopping. And you're not going to be able to be like, well, it's season 15 of Halo. We've added the animations for killing people in a stealthful because we heard you. You want to go into your bases like stealthfully. So we added the stealth element in season 24. Please, who are you talking to? The diehards that are left. You want to touch 2 billion people? All's going to be left are the people that just tolerate all this bullshit and wait around to help you build the game. Think they're a dev.
You got to think about it too. If Microsoft gets their act together, if they do, Sony's going to already be in their second, third life cycle.
Yeah, right.
Of the PlayStation 5. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to be
Sony's not slowing down.
They're not.
We're not slowing
down.
down.
Nintendo isn't either. You got Zelda.
And you got Microsoft, which is
new
complacent.
console.
Yeah.
Nobody's slowing down. And they'll say, well, they're not in competition. Well, you know what they're in competition of? Gamer mind share. Maybe Microsoft doesn't think that they're in competition with them, but I'm telling you, if Sony and Nintendo are dropping things that turn people's heads, they only could turn their head one way. And Xbox is continuing that forgettable path. It is going to be forgettable that, eventually they're just going to be like, you know what, put Game Pass on the PlayStation, put it on a Switch, it's go time. And that's where eventually it's going because they're going to be really strapped to try to sell more hardware as the demand for the other consoles just continues to grow. They're just not gonna be there. You see again more, and what's interesting is you're gonna see more games probably skip out on Xbox because it's just gonna not be there, and they're either gonna port them over and put them in Game Pass like sloppy seconds. It is what it is, and that's why when people, this is my final point on this thing. That's why when people say Halo, it's okay, it's fine, it's all right, it's a start. You don't understand because you were the same folk that were saying this is the comeback story. When is Xbox coming back? If they can't come back with this game, when are they coming back? This is it. If you can't come back with Halo, your prize, and this is so funny because we thought Halo 5 was going to be the turning point of the Xbox One, and it was. The turning point for the other way of them just abandoning the goddamn gaming industry. That's basically what Halo 5 was. Halo 5 was not the turning point where they were going to get back into the fight with Sony. Instead, Microsoft realized, like, dude, we're not coming back from this. Let's go PC. And that's after Halo 5 released and they sold it. That was the last one. Everything else after that was the PC venture. It was Windows 10, let's go. And that was it. And that's the Game Pass pitch that JVB was talking about. It was around that time. It was Halo 5 did not do the pivot that they needed it to do. So they changed. Now Halo Infinite. This is the Game Pass getter. This is this. I think they're doing a horrible job. They did a much better job last year with Gears 5, even though Gears 5, they showed the campaign with Mixer, with Ninja. And they hid that shit. Still, like, Gears 5 was more of a complete thought than this. This is a Frankenstein of a game. And at least they didn't pull the season bullshit with Gears 5. At least it was a content complete game. Yes, it had tons of microtransactions, but it was a content complete game. This is just, we don't know what's coming, what's going. And we know more stuff that's
all
not
be
there.
Built around the Game Pass structure.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more games that are going to do that, depending on which AAA, whatever titles they have. But that's the way they're going.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
it's just like we know more about what's not going to be in Halo at launch than what the hell's going to be in it.
Yeah.
And this video today did nothing to really show what's going to be there at launch. And it just showed Master Chief just running around a Halo ring. And, you know, I think that co-op would have definitely helped it. And I think also, too, the score is going to be reflective of this. Because if this is the kind of mission structures they have, liberate outposts, there's too much competition out there. And people have done it better than Halo. And I don't think that's going to be a good warrant to get. And I see this thing not probably reviewing too well if you know, unless you get reviewers that are like, well, the potential is there, so I'm going to give it an 8.5. I could see where they're going to go with this 8.5, because you could see reviewers going that route, like going, oh, it's a good start. No way, man.
It's a start for Game Pass.
Yeah, right. Well, good luck to them. And you can see, like, here it is, Halo Infinite, cloud, PC, console. This is all they give a shit about right here. This bottom line. And this is what grinds my gears. This would bother social. This would bother links. This would bother a lot of people. The grinders here, the chat, the VIP grinders, all you guys hitting that like button. This is what bothers us, is that you look at this and it's more about this right here. I wish I could circle it. It's more, oh shit, I'm not even circling it. It's more about this right here than this. It's more about Game Pass, cloud, PC, console. It's more about this than the main game itself.
Yep.
That's what grinds my gears.
Sure.
And there's just CGI bullshit. But guys, I want to thank you again for an epic show. We had tons of people coming in here. Shout out to JVB for coming on, and B-Rap, Enrique for coming on, man. Thank you so much, Rap, for coming on. And Frogs, I know you're traveling, so thank you. And thank you to you two gentlemen. Social Destruct, first time coming on here, grinding your gears. Thank you very much, because I know you upset. And Link, thank you for jumping on, man. I know you were going to jump on late, and I appreciate your time coming on here and
yes,
talking
sir.
about this stuff, because it was a really interesting day, because I heard a lot of different takes on stuff. And not to say that it's bad and horrible and all this other shit, but you know what? It doesn't look like it's going in a great direction the way it is, and they need some better explaining of what's going on. It looks better, but last year it didn't look too good, and you could see people last year saying it looks fine. And then they delete it. They go, oh, yeah, you're right. It should be deleted. It should look better. Then, take your time. Yeah, they took their time. They're going to take some more of it. So, everybody, hit that like button. Share the video out. Become a VIP grinder. And, yes, Link, tell them where they can find you.
You know, you'll find me lurking on Twitter and occasionally hopping in this podcast. And, you know, that's about it.
Yeah, and social, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, social-destruct. Find me on there all the time. Sometimes I'm on podcasts, sometimes I'm not. But thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. Anytime. And go follow Basement Radio Arcade. I'll put the link in the description below. And then also, I'll put JVB's link for his YouTube and where you can find his podcast at a post-game report. And, yeah, and JVB, man, you heard he has some insight as to early on in the Halo times, and you know it's distraught. Like, what they're trying to be optimistic, we're trying to be, hey, maybe this will be it, but we know it's not it. We're just gonna try to see, you know, where it goes. And I just think that the management over there, they know what we want, but I think they care about what they want more so. So. It is what it is, but shout out to all the grinders. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the VIP grinder memberships. Hit that like button. We're over 100 likes. Thank you so much. And good night, everybody. Another epic gaming Grindhouse in the books. Stay tuned to this channel for more stuff, more what ifs, and more